your shack at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated public sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, 'cause we be pubbing.
Campers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers. Happy Friday, July 28th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. We have a giant MLB card, a big, beautiful MLB card for us to break down. Everything went according to plan yesterday. I certainly felt like I left money on the table. Those of you who were on the St. Louis Cardinals, I mean, you got screwed by Michaelis being knocked out of the game immediately in the first inning. That screwed your action. It really helped our over, and I doubled down live on the over as soon as he was knocked out. Like Dakota Hudson's going to come in and deliver. So it was huge. So it was a triple up. So cashed the first 5 over 5, cashed the full game over 9.5. And got in again live immediately. So it was all glory. It did look a little nerve-wracking after the first 3 runs scored so easily, and then nothing came in until the 4th, but everything was fine. So it was excellent. That was excellent. The Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today cashed very easily. I should have been with you guys on the Guardians. For whatever reason, Dylan Cease kept me off of it. That was a mistake. But everything went according to plan. We must continue to win here on the show. And we have Dabra Cadabra joining us for today's big MLB card. And we also have TJ, who swept the gifts the last time he rolled with us, is in business here. He's going to be live joining us for 2 gifts. That is the situation we have right here, right now. Justin McElvey in the house. His stacks play of the day. Seattle, Arizona over 9. I've made 3 bets on today's card. 2 last night, 1 this morning. And there's a few more that I'm close to moving on and wanted to talk everything out with you guys. Copy and paste that right there. Billy Friedrich, time to get that back today. Yes, let's get that back for you today. Ron Crawford on the Phillies. I certainly stared at that opportunity for a long time. I can't wait to talk that one out. Zach Wheeler, Mitch Keller. Is Mitch Keller just going to be trash? His last 2 starts have been abysmal. Is he going to have 3 straight just horrific starts? Down to -1.5 now. Wow, look at that, Newkirker. The Red Blacks are down to -1.5 now. Every single person, everybody on the Hamilton Ticats, except for me. Wow. We saw it moving, but I did not expect it to be to -1.5. Unbelievable. And, you know, a lot of the breakdowns here on the show from our chat were bang on about that. Nicholas Earl said this is a pick'em, should be a pick'em, and now it's bet down to a pick'em. Wild. That's just absolutely wild. Books seem very concerned. When the books have moved this much, it means I'm in horrific danger. Jesus, that's just such a big move. Such a big move, Nuke. -1.5. Wow, and that -1.5, I mean, it's juiced to the +1.5. That is wild. It has moved to 3 in the Alouettes Stamps game as well. That is a wild information that makes me very uncomfortable. Wine Time Sports in the house. There's Professor Chris Series Business. We got Nut Flush Allen says currently working on the San Francisco Giants play. I'm glad that you are. It's a fascinating game. We'll have Jose up with that spot too. Cutter Crawford going up against Logan Webb. And CFL spreadsheet play today. BC Lions -7.5. Makes me very nervous. I'm going right up against the spreadsheet play of the day. I got the 8. I also got the 6 on the first half. You know, I'm curious to see just very quickly here before we get into all this baseball, what that first half is now, because they were offering me that at 6 at Pinnacle, which was nuts, and there still are. Wow. -129 at 6. And they'll only give it to you down to 5.5. Wow. The Pinnacle. Ballsy. There is a Slatsy in the house. Andrew G. The Carillo ready to get to work. Real Deal Prime, BJ. That was beautiful. You're right. And I should have mentioned you as well, BJ. I was thinking about both of you guys. Spreadsheet play today. BJ with a 3-unit play on the Guardians. Excellent work. Excellent work. There's Rocco Rogers. Nats first 5.5. So much money left on the table. I mean, Guardians cashed easily in the Nats first 3 plus a half, which was minus 115. First 5 was plus money, plus a half. Just left it on the table. No mistake. Joe Walsh ready to go. Raymond Reichart, Sammy Calmer, Mr. Vape. Nice job. Vitalis ready to go. Dav Fenn. And tomorrow is the 34th anniversary for Ron and Wendy. How cool is that? That is so cool. 34th anniversary. You lead by example, Ron, my friend. Congratulations to you two. What a couple you guys are, man. That's incredibly cool. Respect. Jay Smooth, ready to get to work there. Steve G and BJ best bet. Wow. So just like yesterday, we have BJ and the spreadsheet play of the day correlating here on the Philadelphia Phillies. Wow. The corner of spreadsheet, BJ Boulevard. Rob McMahon, ready to get to work. Great to see you. Rem Most. I wish I'd been in a relationship with Spreadsheet Play Day Ron Crawford for 34 years. But hey, 6 years. We're going on 6 years of friendship. That's not bad. Wine Time says the Halo's biggest series of the year starts tonight against the Jays. It does. Rise and Grind family says Mally's already off to a 4-0 day. Rocco Rogers, saturated, crypto-ish, nasty Nate. We got Coin in the house. Thank you, Coin. Belleville Senators chapeau gifted to me by none other than Mr. Gokster, who just hit 150 to 1 in the Open Championship. Mally Mouse's Liberty Dream was easy over. And Vitalis, he's every second week, but we have the full CFL card broken down yesterday by us. The only game I didn't move on. Yes, my friend.
I think I want to live on BJ Boulevard now. You've got me thinking about it. Like, that just sounds like a great place to live.
Sure. Yeah. Why wouldn't it be? Be full of winners.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then sometimes it intersects with Ron Crawford. What was it? Ron Crawford Way?
Spreadsheet
Boulevard Way?
Yeah. Spreadsheet Boulevard.
A nice little community we've got going here.
We have. Are you ready to rock today? You look a little flighty.
I don't know what that means, but I'm preparing myself mentally for next Thursday.
You don't seem as intense as I need you to be here. You seem like happy-go-lucky. You seem jolly. Did you have a winning day yesterday?
No, I was 2-2. Just fucking bullshit. It could have not happened for all I cared.
Well, why don't you wipe that goddamn smile off your face and come ready to work? Do you have a play of the day other than the Red Sox for us?
I'll let you know in the next 20 minutes.
All right, okay. I see more serious
happening. But yeah, keep your eyes on the chat too.
Okay.
You never know.
I will. Andrew G says Bo Levi Mitchell, good luck. Isn't that wild? That's absolutely wild. But wow. I can't wait to watch the game. Excuse me. Okay. Oh God, sorry. Okay, let's get back to work. Professor Chris ready to get to work. And Newkirk's not on the Tiger Cats either, but that's wild. Absolutely wild. Phillies Backwood says the Cubs first Cards over was sweet in the easy. Okay. All right. Okay. Rocco said, I don't think Keller will get smashed, but the lineups against each other favor Wheeler to pitch extremely well and for Keller to at least get a little hit. And I love the Phillies bullpen advantage. Wheeler looked excellent in his last start, but it hasn't been as consistent as we'd like it to be. But, as Jose wants to live on BJ Boulevard, it intersects with Spreadsheet Boulevard as well. Michael Johnson, True Allah, Real Deal Prime, Avon Polo. What a great group. Big O cashed -1.5 with Cleveland last night. Says, I love this chat. Rob Dig Root says, looking at any UFC action with the mega card. Yeah, I mean, we had Clint Starty Die Hard MMA podcast on our show yesterday. And I plan to follow what he delivered here. I've not bet anything yet, but I plan to move on. At this point, I don't see why I wouldn't. I mean, we're not talking a full unit bet, but I don't see why I wouldn't bet both Derek Lewis and Tony Ferguson here, small, for a big score. And then I like that over 2.5 rounds. And I'm coming very, very close, extremely close to betting Bud in the welterweight championship of the world. Very, 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 very close. Probably also parlay that with the over 10.5 on one ticket, and then have a straight one on the other. That's probably what I'll go down with at this point. Now, the fact that Billy Brisbane is best bets, Alex Pereira, has got me very interested, so I might add that too. I tell you what I will be doing though. So I will be drinking heavily. That's the only lock I can offer you. It's on Saturday night with all this violence. I will be sipping that Henny. Not sipping, I'll be fucking gulping that goddamn Henny. All right, so that's the plan for me right now. But if you could check out yesterday's breakdown, but also you could just go to our homepage, Pub Sports Radio, because today we're going to get the Sharp Action Report. We're also going to get the Undefeated Post Weigh-In Show. We have our guy Clint just put out the Total Takedown. So and then of course he's got his podcast up on Monday. So we're all over that. But we got to get to work here. We got to get Stimmy OG ready to eat. Avon Polo Wildlife says it's a big weekend. We got Lucky Lefty ready to work. Jacqueline, and that was great to see you, Jacqueline. It's a great group. A Sancho, I love it. So Oz B, a Vitalis, Jay Peasy said my only play yesterday cashed Bybee over 5.5 Ks in Cleveland money line. Let's put on the shorts. I was rocking the jorts.
Get them out, Jimmy. We need them. Why aren't you wearing them right now? We might need them like draped on your desk just for good luck or something, even though you don't believe in that.
I don't believe in that, but yeah. And there, so it looks like TJ's internet is having a problem right now, so we'll see. I have his gifts, though. I've got his gifts here ready to go. Lucky Lefty says 4:20 morning. Everybody seems locked in and ready to work. Morgan Spooner saying, loving this card today. All I can say is that the stakes couldn't be goddamn higher. This is not being a good year. We're coming off a clean day yesterday, a winning day yesterday. And I want more. I want more in the worst conceivable ways. Let's bring on your next guest. Your star here every second Friday. Big star on our program. The debut of his new show, The Unmuted Mic, was a big success. The next one comes on next Thursday. And he is also very entwined with the sport of baseball. Drafted by the Brewers in 2008. Texas Tech product. Ready to rock with us right here and right now. Please welcome from Dallas, Texas, Dabra Kadabra. Dabby,
Jimmy,
how are you?
Chat, what's up, man? Let's get this fucking money today. I saw Jose come on with that smile. On Saturday, I said the same thing to him. I said, Jose, we got money to make, man. Let's go. Chop, chop.
Dude, he did seem a little. He seemed very. Look, I want him to be a happy guy. I want him to be a happy guy, but this is very serious stuff. And he just popped on with that smirk, like he just smoked a bat. And I was like, come on, we got to be focused. We got to be locked in here. Yeah. It's great to have you here. Now, you rocked with Jose on this very show 2 weeks ago. You went 2-0 on the show. I know you're having a very strong season. And you are starting to build wins here because you got off to a bad start here on the show, but you are starting to build wins here. You're very close to the black. Let's get to work. We got Lucas Ryan in the house. We got B Fox cashed on the over in the Angels game 1 and 2. Excellent work. Let's get to work. I should have moved on that game 2 over. I was just out. Started at 440. I was dealing with some goddamn bullshit, but I'm glad that you cashed. That was the plan. There's Clint Star, the Die Hard MMA podcast right here. Dabby, let's get to work right now, my friend, and we start with the gift. That's what we start. The gift is 26-13 plus 12.93 units with a 30.3% ROI and average line minus 103. The gift is the Detroit Tigers first 3 money line. That is the gift.
Oh, is TJ popping on to talk about it with us?
His internet's having a problem, so hopefully he'll come on for the second gift. But the real most important part, I mean, we love having him and building him.
Get the money.
Up. Yeah, it's just he's giving us the goods here, and I get it. Braxton Garrett has been really, really bad of late. Let's go through our process here. So let's start with the weather, get into the market movements, and touch on the pitchers, and then hand it off to Dabra Cadabra. So here we go. Swish Analytics. We'll start with just the weather, then we'll go into Ballpark Pal and do our usual. Here we go. So we don't need to do anything for Miami. What am I talking about? It's sticky and hot, and the roof will be closed. Let's get to the line history here. We have. Oh, I had it up already. So Miami Marlins opened up at minus 146. That's exactly where they stand right now. There has been no movement. This line came out at 5:46 p.m. Again, we're going to be using Pinnacle for all of the moves. Total wise, this opened up at 7.5, slightly juiced to the over. It's now pretty heavily juiced to the under at minus 118. In fact, this dropped to 7 a couple times. The first time it dropped, interestingly enough, it moved to 8 last night. It was at 8 from 7 p.m. till 2:36 a.m. So the initial move was to the over. Then it started moving towards the under. We had a 7 come at 8:48 a.m. It lasted for 12 minutes. We had another 7 drop at 9:10. This time it lasted for 31 minutes. So we have a move to the under and no move to the Marlins. Taking a look at the markets here, we have 37% of the tickets and 95% of the cash on the Detroit Tigers. Wow. Total wise, 75% of the tickets, 77% cash on the over, and it's moving towards the under.
The money's on the over, you said?
The money is on the over. That was the initial move. Now they are opening up their arms to anybody who wants the over. So coming from TJ here, he got it at plus 120. I'll talk about what that is at now, the Tigers' first 3. And says Garrett's last 4 starts, 7.85 ERA, 4.13 WOBA, 2.5 homers per 9, 1.47 WHIP. The previous 9 starts, he had a 1.98 ERA, 2.31 WOBA, 0.7 home runs per 9, 0.80 WHIP, and his home ERA 3.5 higher than the road. It's true. He's looked very vulnerable. The last start was at home versus the Rockies. 3 innings, 6 earned runs, and 3 jacks. 3 jacks in 3 innings. He just doesn't quite seem like the same pitcher, and those splits are true. 6.06 ERA at home and 290 opponent's batting average. He's allowed 12 jacks at home. He's only allowed 3 jacks on the road, 12 at home. Reese Olson, 4.53 ERA, 1.10 WHIP. He was a strikeout king in the minors. He came up and was spectacular. And now it seems like the book is out on him a bit. 5 innings, 5 earned runs, and a 5-4 loss at home against the Padres, who are tough. And he has been very good in the small sample size on the road. 0-2, 3.18 ERA, 16 strikeouts with 3 walks, just 1 home run allowed, 219 opponent's batting average. The Tigers are hitting 249, 684 versus lefties. Marlins 253, 683 versus righties. That's since July 1st. And the Marlins bullpen has been quite a bit better than the Tigers bullpen. Take it away for us here. Daby Cadabra, our first game on the board. Tigers, Marlins.
You know, I because of the fact that they're opening up money to the under, I would stay away from this because, I mean, I understand why people are betting the over, even though these aren't necessarily teams that you want to get behind for overs. Both of these pitchers, I mean, Garrett, we touched on his recent starts, but on the year, he's 5-3 with 19 starts. He's only got 3 quality starts in all of his 19 starts, which is not something you want to see. He's given up 103 hits in 100 innings. So he's given up about a hit per inning. He's got that 4.32 ERA. In his case, his strikeout rate is 10. And what's crazy is he's been even less effective at home. He's only 2-2 in 9 starts at home. He's got just 1 quality start in all of his 9 starts. I'm gonna say that again. It's just crazy they're hanging a 7.5. He's only had one quality start in 9 home starts this year. He's given up 58 hits and only 49 innings pitched at home. So all of his stats go down at home. And then you look on the other side, the rookie Olsen. I think he's got a bright upside here for Detroit, but he's still only 1-4 in his 10 appearances. He's got 7 starts on the season. He's been a little better, allowing a little few less hits, only 38 through 43 and 2/3 innings, but he's still got a 4.53 ERA. His strikeout rate is a 9.3, so it's a little lower. And on the road, just the same. He's been a little worse. He's given up 3 home runs in his last 3 starts as well, so he's getting touched by the long ball, just like Garrett is. Again, so everything for me caps towards the over. The book's asking for you to bet the over is not something that I want to do.
Yeah, it's fishy. It's fishy. The first move was to the over, and the books at one point moved it to 8 early, and then to see it go down all the way to 7. I mean, they're just asking for money on the over. Ray says the over 7.5 easy. Says Reese Olson's a really bad pitcher, especially on the road. I like what we've seen from Reese Olson. I do think the book is out on him, and I'm not saying he's going to have a great start here, but I don't know what more you can ask from him on the road in 17 innings. He's a 3.18 ERA, 16 to 3 K to walk ratio.
Let me pull that back up.
1 home run and a 219 opponent's batting average.
Yeah, and he's got a lot less of a sample size too. Like I said, he's only where did I say how many starts he's got this season? His sample size is so much smaller. Also, he's only got 7 starts on the season. That's not a very big sample size. I mean, I'd kind of give the advantage to Olsen for your starting pitcher here, I guess, if I had to choose gun to head. So I understand taking the plus money with the Tigers. It's not something that's going to make my card today, but I get it. I'd lean over, but I'm also not going against something that they're begging for us to bet.
I really like the splits for the Tigers. I think that's appealing. The big bets on the Tigers today, but just 35% of the tickets. I find that all appealing. I think that it makes sense here. Vitalis says, what are the Tigers' hitting percentage ranks against lefties? I mentioned it off the top. Since July 1st, they're batting .249 with a .684 OPS versus lefty. So it's not good. They have a decent average, but with no power whatsoever. And the Marlins, the exact same thing. TJ says, first time through the order, Olsen is very, very good.
You'll see that with lefties a lot more than righties. A lot of times with lefties, and you'll have lefties that, don't even have plus pitches like at all on any of their pitches, but they'll just mow through the order the first time. It's a weird thing. A lot of crafty lefties can get through that order pretty easily the first time.
I like what TJ is doing with the gift. I like it a lot. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I mean, let's just go back to the last couple starts just before I decide that this will be a trigger that will get pulled here. I just want to just focus. Look, Braxton Garrett is a pitcher that I like a lot, and he's been just atrocious of late. So I have no qualms fading him. That he's been poor for a while here. If we go back to that last road start for Olsen against Seattle, it was really good, and Seattle started to hit the ball. The road start before that was wiped out. That's when he took the line drive off the knee. Okay, so he took the line drive off the knee, but he came back and pitched 5 days later. Now it was an easy start against Oakland, pitched very well. So with all this being said, I like where he's at. I'm just going to take a look at the Padres game here.
I'm just thinking, everybody always asks me if I ever took a line drive, like off the body or off the face. I'm like, no, I didn't let the fucking ball hit me. Like, I'm not talking shit to people that do, but I don't care how hard you hit it. I'm moving.
The Padres got to Olsen in that first inning. Yep. Soto, Cronenworth tripled, the center Machado, Bogarts. They got to him, but that's just one start. But that was his last start. I like where TJ's at. If I feel like I don't have enough action on today's card, I'm going to add it. I'm close to adding it. I'm very close to adding it. I like where he's at. Robert Franklin leaning to the Tigers first 5. Rance saying really good under. Raymond Reichart is on the Tigers first 5. And Rance is saying next. I hope you're at a glory hole somewhere, Rance. Okay, let's move on. But great stuff from the gift. Let's move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern. New York Yankees 54-48, 22-24 on the road. At the Baltimore Orioles 62-40, 30-20 at home. We're at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. Garrett Cole going up against Grayson Rodriguez. Had interesting market moves in this one as well. Let's start with the weather. 88 Fahrenheit and a thunderstorm expected early. 10.6 miles per hour out to center. 10.6 to 6.1. So it starts dropping. Take a look at Ballpark Pal at Oriole Park. Plus 13% home runs. Plus 4% doubles and triples. Plus 11% singles. Plus 17% runs. It's very, very offensive weather here. And, we know that Jose despises Garrett Cole. But he's also made a lot of money when he's decided to fade him. So I'd like to know what he thinks of Garrett Cole in every start, because he doesn't just fade him every start, and he succeeds when he does. And obviously, this is an important start for my futures and for anybody who's got Orioles futures. Jose, welcome back to the show. Garrett Cole going up against Grayson Rodriguez. So we have very, very offensive weather. Let's move on to the line history here. We'll start with the total. This total opened up at 8.5 as a pick'em, and it got to 9 at 2:33 a.m. It stayed there till 6 a.m. So it's back at 8.5, and we have a 4-cent move to the over. Let's go over to the cash flow here for this one. We have it opening up with the Yankees at minus 115. They're now minus 119. So we've had 4 cents of movement towards the Yankees. Very slight movement, and very slight movement to the over. Take a look at the total here, or the cash flow, excuse me. 69% of the tickets, 51% of the cash on the Yankees. So, it seems like there's some sharp action there on the Orioles, some bigger bets that's kept this line where it is, even though if you look at the stats, you'd think that there's an enormous pitching advantage for the Yankees. 25% of the tickets, 43% of the cash is on the under. So it seems like the reason why this isn't moving to the over, and the reason why this isn't moving towards the Yankees, is that the sharps think that Grayson Rodriguez is primed for a nice pitching performance, and he just came off of one at the Rays. It was impressive. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks and 2 walks. Garrett Cole in his last start, 5-2 win at home versus Royals, 6 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 10 Ks, 1 walk. He certainly looks locked in. He's been better on the road than he's been at home this year. And I don't think that we need to get too deep into Grayson Rodriguez's home splits. Yes, they're atrocious, but we know what he's thought of when he came up, and this is one of the highest rated prospects in the league. And you go through a few bumps. I think the sample size is too small. I think that performance at Tampa was very impressive. The Yankees aren't hitting righties, but we've been hearing that Judge was going to be back in the line. There's Kong's clip saying that Judge is back today, that we've been hearing that he was coming back on Friday. Is he going to be ready to go right off the hop? Possibly. They've been hitting 224, 676 versus righties since July 1st. Orioles 235, 693 versus righties. The Orioles aren't hitting either. And the Orioles bullpen has been a full run better than the Yankees bullpen over 9 innings since July 1st. So first and foremost, Jose Bouquet, your expectations on Garrett Cole, and are you fading him here?
I think I am. Obviously, first of all, let's get the obvious out of the way. He's a big pussy. He's not a big game pitcher. He folds under the pressure. He's a coward. Against the Orioles this year already, 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs. They won that game 6-5. I looked at his starts last year against the Orioles because I was very interested to see just how he does, and he gives up runs. Daby Cab will say these are probably quality starts, I'm sure, but I think he sucks, obviously. 6 innings, 9 hits.
What do you mean, Daby Cab? How many runs did he give up, and how many innings did he pitch? I don't make up what a quality start is. It's a thing.
Well, it's just the quality starts aren't good starts when you're gambling on these dudes. At Baltimore last year, 6 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. 8 innings, 8 hits, 5 earned runs. 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs at Baltimore again. So I think he just gives up runs here. I honestly kind of want to bet a first 5 under here because I think this is obviously will be a big game, big playoff, feel at Baltimore. The fans will be there packed against the Yankees, et cetera, et cetera. Grayson Rodriguez pitching well. I like a first 5 under here as well. It's just, do I trust Big Pussy to pitch well here against the Orioles? I don't know. I'm a little worried. I think this is obviously like the big statements part. Like you finally got your big captain and his boo-boo toe forever. I think I will be betting on the Orioles here, but I've been back and forth on a first 5 under. And the offensive weather is also concerning as well. But weather isn't the end all be all, obviously. So I lean first 5 under, and I'm also close to moving on the Baltimore Orioles as well.
Yeah, I mean, everything here weather-wise would tell you that this is going to be an offensive situation. But you're right. This is going to be packed house against the Yankees. All the arms are rested. I'm looking forward to hear what Daby Cab has to say about this spot. Yankees, Orioles, take it away.
All right. So like with what we do, we put our money on what we think is going to happen, right? We're not always right. We're not always wrong. One of the things that I do in baseball is when I get somebody, regardless of how I feel about him, I do agree with Jose. I don't like Garrett Cole. I think he's a huge puss when it comes to big games. We've all seen that. He doesn't show up. All that being said, Garrett Cole is still an elite pitcher. There's a reason why he's 9-2 on this season, and there's a reason why he's the Yankees' go-to guy. And what I'm getting at is with baseball, when I get somebody like a pitcher that I think is an elite pitcher, and I get them around a money line, I really take a hard look at it, whether, it's McClanahan or Darvish. A lot of people wonder, when is Cab betting Darvish? You don't see me betting Darvish when they're minus 220 and he's on the mound. You see me betting Darvish when it's, minus 115 or maybe plus money. This is a situation with Cole where you're getting really close to something that I think is bettable on the money line. And I know he had poor starts against Baltimore and San Diego in late May, but he's been dealing since then. In his last 9 outings, he's given up 16 runs. He's got 65 strikeouts, and that's in only 55 and 2/3 innings of work, which is just outstanding. I do see the upside to Rodriguez also, but I think Cole is, I think Cole gets the best of him here in this start. And everybody in the chat's already said it. You got Judge coming back. This is huge for them. Their offense has only hit 221 since he's been out. With him in the lineup, they hit 240 as a team. They have a 30-19 record. You got your best hitter back. You got your franchise player back. You got your ace on the mound, and you got a price at a money line that's affordable. So if I was going to bet this game, I'd bet on the Yankees. And
what is keeping you off? The fact that you don't trust Cole in a big situation?
Yeah, pretty much that. And I've got 3 bets. I've got about $500 out today. And for me, as much as I love talking about it, but when it comes down to it, the bank account's what matters the most. And I'm comfortable with what I've got bet right now.
I feel you. I'm sitting at a similar situation. I have $450 out on 3 bets. But I'm, ready to pull the trigger, and I'm very interested in the gift, the Tiger spot. Speaking of the gift, DC Capper on the Yankees minus 125, and TJ saying under playoff type game. Now, I think it's pretty clear here from the market that even though the weather is so offensive, that the sharp actions on the under. The fact that, and maybe it's, but the fact that it went to 9 and it's being, back at 8.5 all morning, the under 8.5 at 6:17 a.m. was pretty heavily juiced to the under. That over 8.5 at that point was at minus 101. So there's been buyback, and I expect more buyback. I do. I really expect more buyback, and I think that I'd be into. It's twofold. One, I would like to see a 9 to bet the under, but also if they move it back to 9, would that make me afraid and keep me off? Billy Frieder says Rodriguez gets touched. He's had 4 good starts: 2 versus Tampa and 2 versus the Tigers. I think that there are some young pitchers that come up. We're talking about the highest quality, most potential young pitchers that come up and look incredible right away, and then the book comes out on them. And there's other pitchers that struggle a little bit and then find themselves. And I'm really interested if Brandon Williamson and Bobby Miller shove on the night game in Los Angeles. I think Brandon Williamson is starting to find himself. Coin says 75% of the tickets, 57% of the cash on the over 8.5. Give me the first 5 under 4.5. I like that too. But another point of this, though, is this is a playoff type game, and the bullpens are fresh, and it'll be best on best. So I kind of like the full game under the most. Dave Redling says, give me Cole first 5 money line. I trust Cole, but not the Yankees, so will not take them full game. My preference is to pass this game and save the $100 for a good bet. TJ says it shouldn't make you afraid. Myself and the others are just watching the board, snatching up 9s when they pop. No, if it goes up to 9 and then drops back again 8.5, then there's no fear at all. If it goes up to 9 at 1:30 and stays there until 9, then I'm going to be nervous. It just popping up, TJ, and coming back down is great. So look, yeah, I guess I want the under 8.5. I guess when it comes down to it, I want the under 8.5. And it's a kind of a coin flippy side spot. So look, I want the under 8.5. Jose, after hearing all of this, are you going to make anything official?
I'll be on the first 5 under 4.5, and then on my show, hopefully by then it'll be a 9, and if not, I'll bet the under 8.5 then as well. But I'll wait until my show to bet the full game in the hopes that I get a 9, like you guys are saying. But yeah, first 5 under 4.5. I have it at -115. Someone had it at -108. I'm not sure.
First 5 under 4.5 for Jose. I like that you're doubling up on it. This is exciting. This is going to be a really fun game. It's going to be a fun night.
Yeah, the other one I would like to bet the first 5 under on playoff game is obviously your game in Toronto, but the market is saying no on that one, unfortunately. And by the way, Gambler's First Glance, Orioles money line. So, yeah, I like the Orioles here as well, and I will probably end up making them official by my show as well. So,
I would like to bet the Orioles here. I would like to a lot. Maybe this is enough to push us there.
You know what? That did make me go to it. I'm going to make it official. Orioles.
Was it the second look or the first one?
It was the second look. Actually, no, it was the first look because it's the first glance.
Well, so it's the first. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Orioles money line for Jose. First 5 under 4.5. Orioles money line for Jose, and possibly adding the under 8.5 or 9 on his show right there. And Razor Sharp picks night racing over there at his channel tonight. I believe it starts up at 6 p.m. Eastern, focusing on the Del Mar card. All right, this game's going to be a lot of fun. Look, I have interest in the Orioles. Obviously, I don't know. I want them to win so badly just for my futures. I certainly am going to move on the full game under, though, even though this is very offensive weather. Jose, please jump back on whenever you feel like you got something that you want to add or that you like or something. So just you can decide when you want to just jump on. Just fire in. I'll see it when it goes to 3 that you're about to drop something for us. We'll have you back for the Red Sox game, but anything else, and I'll reach out too.
Sounds good. All
right, let's roll on. Next, we've heard from Gambler's First Glance. Now, Spreadsheet and BJ Boulevard. There's Millsy in the house. There's Aloha from Hawaii, watching Pub at 5 a.m. vacation mode, but the grind don't stop. What a guy. I love Millsy. Look at that. Aloha from Miami, or sorry, from Hawaii. Man, that's, God, I would like to get out there, man. That's expensive if you're on the East Coast. Try and get to Hawaii. That's fucking dope, Millsy. Respect. All right, we have the corner of BJ Boulevard and Spreadsheet Avenue here. We have the Philadelphia Phillies. Ron Crawford coming off another winner yesterday. He is 32-26 on the show, hitting at 55.2%, plus 5.49 units, ROI plus 9.47%, average line minus 103. Shout out to our man Ron Crawford. We go, and wine time going to be there in 3 weeks. God damn, I'm jealous of that shit. All right, let's move on. We have heard from Ron Crawford. He's on the Phillies on the -1 line, -123. BJ's making it a 3-unit banger. He put 3 units on Cleveland last night, and he's just taking the money line -158. Phillies, Pirates, PNC Park in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Zach Wheeler coming off an excellent start. 1-0 loss at the Guardians. He was fantastic. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, 1 walk. he just hasn't been consistent enough this year. But he's been really good. A 7-5, 3.88 ERA, 1.14 WHIP. I wouldn't want to face him in a one-game playoff type situation. I think he's a very, very talented pitcher, and he steps up in big games. This isn't really a big game. On the road this year, 58 innings, 3.72 ERA, 68 Ks, and 9 walks. He's only allowed 3 home runs in 58 innings on the road with a 260 opponent's batting average. The question here is Mitch Keller. I mean, he was an all-star, deserved all-star throughout the first half of the year. He's been horrific his last 2 starts. Last one at the Angels, he allowed 6 earned runs in 5 innings, 3 homers. On the road this year, he's been good, 3.61 ERA, 215 opponent's batting average. The Phillies aren't hitting righties. The Pirates are even worse. Phillies are 238, 694. Pirates 28, 655. That's since July 1st. And both bullpens have been very good, especially the Phillies bullpen. So let's take a look quickly at the weather here. We have in Pittsburgh, PNC, 92 Fahrenheit, hot, feels like 95, 10.4 miles per hour out to left field. Stays between 10.9 and 5.9. Then we'll take a look at Ballpark Pals expectations here. And in PNC, just plus 2% homers, but plus 20% doubles and triples, and plus 10% runs. There are 5 stadiums here that are double-digit offense expected. And we've already talked about Oriole Park. They're number 2. And number 5 is here at PNC Park. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have the 8.5, which has been here, I believe, the whole, yes, it's not moved. This came out at 5:26 p.m. yesterday, and there's been no movement on this total. That's wild. No movement. It moved 1 cent to the over in all of that time. Let's go over to the money line here for this one, Wheeler versus Keller. And we have a 2 cent move to the Pittsburgh Pirates. So we have no movement basically on this line that's been out for 30 hours. 33% of the tickets, 53% of the cash on the Pirates. 49% of the tickets and 95% of the cash on the under. I'm surprised the market's not moving towards the under. This is one of those games that makes me extremely uncomfortable. Take it away here, Daby Cab, Phillies, Pirates.
Yeah, shout out to our guy in the chat. He said you got to erase the first 10 starts. He's a mediocre pitcher at best, talking about Keller. I've thought that all season. I know a lot of people made a lot of money off of him early, but I've kind of just been waiting for him to regress. I thought that last year, too, the same thing. You know, the Phillies, they've been hot. They've won 3 of their last 4 games, 7 of their last 11 road games. On offense, they're playing well. They put up 20 runs in their last 4 games. You know, I think they keep that up. I think they play well here. Keller, like I said, he's been struggling of late. He's given up 14 runs in his last 3 starts. Against the Phillies, he's got 3 starts. He's given up 13 runs against them. So I think he's still going to have a hard time slowing them down here. And you know, the Pirates, you look at what the Pirates are doing, like as a team, and like I said, Keller's been a part of this. Pittsburgh's just not good. They're giving up 4.84 runs per game. Opponents have a 252 batting average against them, which is 23rd in the league. Their team ERA is 22nd in the league. Their team whip is 23rd in the league. And like I said, Keller's been a part of that. His last start, he gave up 9 hits, 6 runs in 5 innings, and that was a 7-5 loss to the Angels. I would probably, I know it's a large favorite, so I'd probably take the first 5 and back the Phillies here if I was going to bet this game on the run line.
So what's keeping you off of it?
Again, I have been more disciplined. I've only made like 136 bets this year, which to some people that might sound like a lot. For me, that's not very much. It's like half of what I made last year. It's more than half of less than what I made last year. I'm just very strict with this baseball because it's every day. I'm betting it every single day. So to me, as long as I don't know, it's just a strict thing. This isn't one of my top feels, so I'm just not going to go with it. I don't know how else to really explain it other than that.
TJ says Philadelphia team total over 4.5 is how I look at it because there's something fishy about the Philadelphia money line. You know, this reminds me very much of the Padres game on Tuesday. The Padres game on Tuesday. Let's just go back to it quickly here. So on Tuesday, you had Oviedo. Oh, that was Rich Hill versus. No, sorry. Let's go to Wednesday. Sorry, my bad.
That was Darvish, I think, wasn't it?
Against Oviedo?
Yeah.
No, Lugo.
Okay.
Lugo versus Oviedo. So you had Lugo, who was pitching horrifically. I mean, he'd been so bad. Let me just move to this spot. Just sort of in like what Mitch Keller's doing, just pitching so bad. And then all of a sudden, the market was moving. Did it even move or did it not move? Yeah, it moved to the. Did it move to the under? It opened up at 8.5 to the over, juice to the over, and it closed juice to the under. So there's 13 cents of movement to the under. 99% of the cash was on the over in that one. And, why wouldn't it have been? You had Oviedo, who'd been so bad. So this was the last game the Pirates played. Oviedo he had gone in his previous 2 games. He went 4 innings. He allowed 5 runs. He had a good start against the Giants at home. But then, so this was his third consecutive road start, except for that Giants game. In that one before, he allowed 5 runs in 6 2/3 against the Dodgers. The last home start before the Giants, he allowed 8 runs in 5 innings. And yet, people moved. The 99% of the cash was on the over, and there was 13-cent move to the under. And I took the first 5 under 4.5 just because the market was saying Oviedo's going to have a good start. It sort of feels similar in that it feels like the market's telling us that Mitch Keller is going to be better here. But I don't want to sit here and trust it either. There's our guy Turnsey in the house.
What was the money on the total? Because if you think Mitch Keller's going to pitch better here, I would go with the under in the first. I think Wheeler's going to keep. I think he's going to keep showing positive regression.
I think that the plan for TJ makes more sense because here, and this is the only thing that doesn't kind of continue with what I was talking about on the Wednesday game. Here you have 49% of the tickets and 95% of the cash on the over. Or sorry, excuse me, on the under. Sorry, let me say it again. 49% of tickets and 95% cash on the under, and the line's not moving.
Right.
So this is now when there was 99% of the cash on the over in the Wednesday game, there was also like 80. I'll go back to what it finished at, but there was like 83% of the money on the over. I'm going to go back to it right now and just tell you what exactly it ended up at. Wow, it completely moved. So look at that. This is wild. So when we did the show on Wednesday, 83% of the tickets were on the over and 99% of the cash. By the time it went to first pitch, 34% of the tickets were on the over and 55% of the cash. Wow, this is so much changes. This is a great opportunity to be the first at it, but obviously everybody saw the market not moving towards the over, moving towards the under, and just started piling in on the under. Jared Bush says Vegas wants you to take Philly. Look, I'm going to stay off of this spot. I've watched Ron Crawford and both Ron Crawford and BJ go up against whatever the market's indicating with no fear and come out with cash in their pocket. So I don't. If you trust your capping, you track your record keeping, and if you are winning, then you can trust it and not let this get in the way.
I think it's important if you're going to go against the market to have like baseball is like a trendy sport. So like anybody who's followed me knows I've made a fucking killing on Rangers first 5 overs this year. Yeah. And usually the money is, not a good sign for where I'm at with that, but that trend just keeps hitting. So it's like the market doesn't scare me on that particular one, but there are plenty of games where the market keeps me the hell away from it.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, I'm going to stay off this spot. I find it a fascinating game to follow, but I don't want to put my money on it. All right, let's move on. Next up, as Wine Time Sports says, the biggest series of the year for the Los Angeles Angels, 54-49, 25-26 on the road at the Toronto Blue Jays, 57-46, 27-20 at home, Rogers Centre, Toronto, Ontario. I was looking at the Blue Jays record, 57-46, and it's pretty amazing with how bad they've been this year. I mean, that's, and we know that Razor, Sharp, and some others have moved on futures on the Blue Jays. That's a good sign. You're 11 games over 500 and you've been so bad. I watch their games and I just have a vividness bias of mistake after mistake after mistake and Schneider making extremely questionable decisions. How easy would it have been to go into Chavez Ravine and sweep the Dodgers? I mean, you don't see teams talking like that. The upside for the Blue Jays is is very high, and still I do not have 1 cent, not 1 cent on futures market with them, and it makes me nervous. Wine Time Sports says the Halos are 10-3 since the break, playing some of the best baseball all year. The series will be like a playoff series for the Halos and the Jays. I'm on the Angels plus 1.5 minus 120. Sprinkled the money line. All right. So now TJ saying he's got the Angels to make the playoffs at plus 800. Wow, that's a beauty number. Says he would like them to win, but this is a terrible spot. Terrible. Now, yes. I mean, you can't think of a more difficult situation. Now, the travel's not far from Detroit to Toronto, but one team has a doubleheader yesterday, and one team doesn't play. Now, at least the Angels swept the doubleheader with ease and gathered momentum here. Let's take a look at the weather. I don't think there's any storm issues or anything, so I imagine that this roof will be open. Let's see if that is true. Roof will be open. 8.1 miles per hour, slightly out. Stays between 8.1 and 6.7. So let's see what Ballpark Pal thinks of the Rogers Center tonight. Plus 15% home runs, plus 8% doubles and triples, plus 6% runs. So the ball will be flying here with the roof open. Gaussman, he had the injury over the All-Star break that kind of caught us by surprise. And the market has been moving soundly towards the Angels from plus 179 to plus 167. It's been a pretty constant move. In fact, there was 2 cents of buyback at one point, but it's been pretty constant towards the Angels. Now at plus 167. Let's take a look at the total here for this one. Move over. Oh shoot! Sorry, I'm back on Wednesday. I can't believe that's what the. I'm shocked at the San Diego Pittsburgh total when in the morning we have 83%, 99%, and then I don't look at it after that. I don't look. My action's in. I'm done. I didn't look at it again, but that's shocking to me. Here on the total, we have it opening up at 8.5. And it's still at 8.5. We've had 5 cents of movement on the under. The big question mark is Lucas Giolito making his first career start for the Angels. What's he going to give you? His last start, 5-4 extra inning loss at Minnesota. He was very good. 5 innings, 9 strikeouts. He's been really good this year. And he's been bad on the road. 5.25 ERA, 276 opponent's batting average. And then you have Kevin Gaussman. He comes back from injury at the Mariners. He doesn't look very good. Still gets 9 strikeouts, but 4 jacks against them. At home, he's been so good this year. 2.58 ERA, 214 opponent's batting average. Angels versus righties, 240, 777 since July 1st. Blue Jays, 252, 751. Angels bullpen has been a train wreck since July 1st, 6.22 ERA. Blue Jays has been very good. So Justin McElvey says Ohtani tweaked his back, got pulled after his second jack yesterday in Game 2. Andrew G says JC Giolito all the time, nothing new. Billy Friedrich says Giolito is not a difference maker. He's a nice guy and a nice pitcher, but he's not a difference maker. New worker, much love, man. Thank you for joining us. Oh, and look at this. Beautiful. We have Jose Bouquet joining us. So, Jose, take it away. What is it that you're thinking here?
Yeah, I initially said earlier in the show, I was like, I kind of wanted a first 5 under in this game, but the market's keeping me off. And I remember listening because Giolito does a podcast and he talks about himself, et cetera, et cetera. He's a very routine-oriented player. I know Daby Cab's going to say, oh, fucking pitchers are routine-oriented. But apparently he is in particular. And now him going to a new place, new environment, new routine, I think will not to aid him here. He's
not going to have a new routine.
Well, a new place is the point. A new place, new routine, et cetera. You know what I mean. But I'm now leaning towards the first 5 over in this game because Gaussman obviously has not pitched well in the last few days or few starts for him. What did he do in his injury, Jimmy? I've already forgotten.
What was it again? It was it was like an elbow. Let me just pull it up here.
Because Gaussman has not been as good, obviously, as he hasn't been in previous years, and he's still like a top 5 Cy Young award winner this year. Probably he's still
left side discomfort. I mean, we didn't know, we couldn't get a read on what the hell was going on.
Yeah, I just think this is an offensive game here, and just like how we said it's going to be like a playoff atmosphere, I think it'll be a playoff atmosphere in this game, but this will lead towards offense instead of unders here. So I think I'm going to move on a first 5 over in this game.
Well, also, coin talking about the cash flow, and I didn't mention it. So let me get that mentioned here. We have in this spot, sorry, I had moved over to Wednesday. We have 83% of the tickets and 99% of the cash on the Angels.
Shocker.
Now the line is moving towards them, but clear that's a bias, a recency bias in play. And then you have 33% of the tickets, 68% cash on the over. Now, is there truth to this here that Ohtani tweaked his back?
Yeah, he came out of the game yesterday. I thought I when I saw it, I was like, oh fuck, he just pulled his oblique. It was on the home run.
No, it's been tweaked. You didn't see it. He struck out against somebody like 4 or 5 games ago, and he like walked back to the dugout just grabbing his back. So it's been tweaked.
So they allegedly called it cramps. So I guess we expect him in the lineup.
Cramps?
Today. That's what they said.
One time saying it was cramping.
So,
Daby Cab, your plan here for this extremely important baseball game at the Rogers Center?
You know, I get where Wine Time's going with this. I'm not somebody who takes, plus 1.5s very often for run lines, but the Angels are 18 and 15 to the run line as away underdogs this year, so it's a spot they're comfortable. And I know that people say this is a tough travel spot coming off the doubleheader, and it is. It is. I'm not saying it's easy, but baseball is a sport, and anybody can tell you this. That's whether they've played it at a high level, even when they were a kid, or they've had a kid that plays it. You play 3-4 fucking games a day every day. It's kind of the fucking MO for baseball. So I don't really buy into the tough spot as much as I think some people do. And this Angels team, recency bias is going to play a factor because, like you said, since the All-Star break, they're hitting 259 as a team, 491 slugging, 846 OPS. They're averaging 6.4 runs per game, and that's without Trout in the lineup. So yeah, I think they could make it a difficult start for the Blue Jays here, and I kind of agree with Jose's over. I think that over looks not a bad look. I don't necessarily want to bet the Angels here, but if I had to, I would. I'd probably look at the total, and I'd probably look over.
Yeah, I just don't feel like I have. I don't know. I don't know if Giolito is going to step up in this situation. I don't know what left side discomfort Gausman was going through, but he certainly didn't look good against the Mariners. Like, I just feel like there's too much unknown, because I would like to say that initially last night I was kind of on the angle where I was like, well, what's Giolito going to do in this first start? He's been so bad on the road this year. And like people in the chat are saying the Jays have seen him. I was close to moving against him, but I don't know what Gausman's going to do. I'm going to have to stay off of this spot. Joe Yurkovich says seems both pitchers pitch well. He likes that first 5 under. So for that,
if it wasn't for the market,
33% of the tickets, 68% of cash on that over. Nutfleshan says wearing a different jersey going to make Gio better. Nope. I'm off of this spot. So Jose, what are you making official here?
First 5 over 4.5 minus 107. And if Ohtani's not in the lineup, I'll throw myself off a bridge. But this is, like people are saying, the biggest series of the season for them. And by the way, this is the biggest series of the season for them because they're 3 games back of these Toronto Blue Jays of the wild card. So I'm personally, honestly rooting for the Angels as the Red Sox are 1.5 games back. But ultimately, we're all rooting for the fall of the Rangers. So let's pray for that.
All is in you, right?
No, like the entire American League East and all of baseball. So
you,
yeah. Now you're Dabby's a Rangers fans guy. Just remember that.
I mean, they're winning me a lot of money. They're good for baseball. What can I say? They cleared benches with the Astros. That was fucking
fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
Lucas has an important question, Jose. Is this the blow me from the back play of the day, or is that coming?
No. That apparently will be the Giants Red Sox game because if Nutflash is betting on the Giants, then it might have to be. Who knows?
All right. Okay. Well, great stuff, guys. And Daby Cab, you are staying off betting anything here.
Right. I do have 3 bets today. They're gonna all.
I know. It's all good. It's all good, man. All right, let's move on. 7:10 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Guardians 52 and 51, 24 and 27 on the road at the Chicago White Sox 41 63, 21 and 28 at home. I made a mistake not rolling with you guys yesterday, fading the White Sox, and it was because of my own bullshit with Dylan Cease. I think that Cease is a good pitcher. And I thought maybe he steps up after the trade when everyone's giving up, and that was a mistake. Here, I thought last night, well, I'm going to get on the Guardians. I think the White Sox have thrown in the white flag, and it's time. And I don't think Touki Toussaint is a good pitcher. But I was astonished that this line wasn't moving because I thought that all the cappers would think the same as me, that this is a team that's waving the white flag. And so why was the market not moving in the direction? I would like to see the market move towards Cleveland. And it's a bullpen day. Guardians bullpen's being bad. So I was like, okay, just do nothing and talk it out with everybody here in the chat. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's start with the weather here in Chicago. 82 Fahrenheit, 8 miles per hour, left to right, but slightly in, goes down to 6 miles per hour. Let's move over to Ballpark Pal here. And their expectation of guarantee rate field is offensive, plus 25% home runs, plus 14% runs. Let's take a look at the line history. Then next up, we'll start with this total over at Pinnacle. This one opened up at 10.5. It opened up at 10.5, and it lasted there for 28 minutes. This line didn't come out till 8:08 a.m. It's at 10 now. So we have a legit move to the under. Let's pull up the money line. For the money line, we have the White Sox opening up at plus 131. They're now plus 121. So we've had 10 cents of movement to Touki Toussaint and the Chicago White Sox. And, when it's said and done, I expect that to take me off of the bet. But here you have 73% of the tickets and 69% of the cash on the White Sox. That surprises me. Only 27% of bets are on the Guardians. I mean, why would that be? Why would the public be expecting the White Sox to win here? I just completely throwing me for a loop. 62% of tickets, 48% of cash on the under. This is wild. Vitalis says the sharps were on the White Sox earlier this morning. They've jumped off. They want no part of it at this point. Wow. Sancho says Curry going to get touched. I mean, how long? Curry's going to get touched in one inning? Nutflush says, in just my opinion, but your thought process is correct, but the flag isn't fully waved until the trade deadline is over. Players still playing hard in case they can make it to a contender. That's completely valid. Completely valid. Professor Chris says numbers say guard should be at minus 129, no value at minus 144.
This was supposed to be Giolito's spot.
And Touki, Tuki's last appearance was July 26th. He went an inning and didn't allow any damage. His last start was July 19th, and he allowed 5 earned runs at the Mets. The Guardians are hitting right now, 287, OPS. White Sox are righties, 235, 644 OPS. I know the Guardians bullpen's been bad, but this is strange. Rocco Rod says, do people think Syndergaard's coming out? He's not due till Monday, he heard. Take it away, Daby Cab. What do you think of this spot? Are you surprised that the public is on the White Sox here?
Absolutely. I wouldn't bet the White Sox. This game does nothing for me is for a day full of baseball that I'm excited to watch. Like I said, this was supposed to be Giolito's spot in the rotation, but obviously he's going to be throwing for the Angels tonight. The White Sox just like it blows me away that people are backing the White Sox here. As far as pitching goes on each side, there's not much to get excited for. Touki, I hope I said his name right. Touki, man, he's got 9 appearances this year. He's only got 23 strikeouts with 17 walks. That's something. One of the first things that'll keep me away from a pitcher is I would never get behind a pitcher that walks that many people for how many strikeouts he has. It's just not something that's a huge red flag right there. So for me, I would look Cleveland if I was going to bet this. But again, I don't know what it is. Something's telling me Cleveland just might not be a good spot here. I don't have too much on this game. I have a lot more on the games coming up. This one doesn't do much for me here, Jimmy.
Yeah, I get it. Brown Hughes is saying that Xavion's going to go at least 3 innings. Says no side for him, but he got the under 10.5. Well, nice job. That went to 10.
I feel like I'd be flipping a coin if I went for even, and I'll tell you guys what my leans are. And when I say that, I mean it. I'm not flipping a coin, but this one, if I gave you a lean or if I gave you a total lean, I feel like I'd be flipping a coin, and I don't do that.
And TJ says, like you guys, he does not understand the Chicago White Sox money easy pass. That's what it'll be for me as well, an easy pass. But I don't get it. All right. Next up, 7:10 p.m. Eastern, Washington Nationals at New York Mets. And too often this year, I'd really love. I was thinking last night, what would my record be this year if I was my old style from years ago, where I just love the game of baseball, feel like I know who's going to win the game, and don't care about the market and bet on it. This was one of those spots where I was just like, look, I love baseball. I love Scherzer going up against his own old team. I love Mackenzie Gore going up against, the titan of national pitching. I mean, you could say it was Strasburg all you want, but I just love everything about this. I loved everything about this spot, and I moved on the under last night. I moved on the first 5 under 4.5 at plus money. I moved on the first 3 under 2.5 at minus 115, and I was extremely pleased and very confident when I heard that TJ's second gift is right here on the first 5 under 4.5 at plus money. So gift number 2 from our friend TJ is the first 5 under 4.5 at plus money. The market was not moving in my direction, but I was like, you know what? I just got to trust. I got to trust here. And that's what I did. This opened up the under 8.5 minus 101. It's just minus 100 right now. There hasn't been a big move on the 8.5. The first 5 was plus money to the under. I could have got 2 cents better if I used Pinnacle. I didn't. I sent it into the local plus 100. Just I only put in 1.5K, as you guys know, into that account. And if it's close enough, I'll just send it in. The first 5 under is not moved. At 9 p.m. So it opened up at plus 102, and it's right back at plus 102. So look, that makes me nervous. SLW Buck says Scherzer 1-6 at home on Friday the last 3 seasons. It doesn't make me too uncomfortable here. TJ says bet the first 5 under now. He says I projected to move once a heavily followed capper I know gives it out to his followers. Professor Chris says all over the Nats today. Numbers say Nats money line should be plus 118 and run line minus 187. He got them both plus 166 and minus 125. Says plenty of positive EV here. LJ from H-Town says when the Mets are at home, take the first 5 under. LJ, great to see you, my man. So let's talk about the weather here in New York. We have it opening up at 87 Fahrenheit. Feels like 91, 9.2 miles per hour. Out goes down to 6.8 miles per hour. Ballpark Pal doesn't have this ridiculously offensive. I think it's due to the pitching. Plus 13% home runs, minus 11% doubles and triples, plus 2% runs. That made me feel also very confident here. And TJ says cash and tickets on the over. Let's pull that out. Because when I bet it, there was just not enough information. And so I have not really looked at it too much. Here we have 33% of the tickets and 52% of the cash on the under. I like that quite a bit. So you have the public on the over, but the bigger bets on the under. And then you have 22% of the tickets, 35% of the cash on the Nats. You have Professor Chris feeling like the Nats are in a nice spot. That also makes me confident. I need Mackenzie Gore to step up against Maximus Scherzer. Gore, his last start was excellent. 6-1 win at home over the Giants. 8 strikeouts, 2 walks, 5 innings. On the road, he's struggled at times. 9 home runs allowed in 58 2/3, 4.60 ERA, 244 points batting average. And then you have Maximilian, and he's coming off a terrible start at Boston. I don't mind that at all, with an elite pitcher having a bad start and coming back home where he has a 2.36 ERA and opponents are hitting 197 against him. Also, the Mets, as we've been speaking about all month, they're just not hitting lefties at all. 197, 579 OPS since July 1st. Nats 251 against righties, but with no power at 712. Nats bullpen atrocious. I know it's been better in the last few days, but it's horrible. I don't want anything to do with them. Mets bullpen is okay. So there you go. I'm on the first 3 under 2.5, first 5 under 4.5. TJ's gifts on the first 5 under 4.5. I'm really, really excited about watching this ball game. Take it away for us, Daby Cab. Nats, Mets at Citi Field.
So there are certain veteran pitchers that like I start salivating and getting excited to bet whenever they struggle. And I know like these people, like Verlander at the beginning of this year. So I've been on him recently, and anybody who's been paying attention, holy shit, he's been lights out lately. Scherzer's another one of those veterans. He struggled recently, like flat out he has. Shaky at best, giving up 14 runs in his last 4 starts. And he's given up 8 runs in his last 3 home starts. So Scherzer's, like I said, he's been shaky, but he's one of those elite vets that I just get so excited to put money behind whenever he struggles, because I know he's going to bounce back. Now, I'm not betting the Mets here. I very likely will join you on that first 5 under, Jimmy. I liked that bet when I went over this card. I like it even more now, hearing the money, hearing you on it, hearing what some of the chat says. I think Gore does pitch well here. Honestly, even though I'm saying I want to back Scherzer, I kind of like the Nationals as a side here in this game, but I won't be betting on a side. I very likely will take that first 5 under with you. I'm not on it yet. I've already tweeted out my action, but I might add that.
So we have a possible first 5 under 4.5 addition for Daby Cab. I love it. Londo, my friend, looking for a parlay. Yeah, it'd be fun. Maybe do a friends and family parlay. And here we have Jose Bouquet wanting to add in on Nats Mets. Take it away, Jose.
I'm joining everyone. I also am on the 5 under. I bet it like 20 minutes ago, and unsurprisingly, I guess everyone else is on it. So that's cool. We're all on the first 5 under.
Hey, all that matters is the money looks good on it. It doesn't matter what us here as a collective group of badass fucking cappers are on.
Big Cash Glizzy says Mets win, Mad Max bounce back. Jose joining us on the first 5 under 4.5. I'm excited, really excited about the spot. I agree with Daby Cab that the public is on the over in this game, and there's a recency bias of Scherzer's last start. But in the last few months when we're all on the same side, it hasn't gone that well for us. But I don't care. I'm not going to let that get in my head. I really, really like this spot. Joe Yurkovich says I can get the first 5 under 5 at -135, and DC Capper taking the Jays on the run line as well, but he's doubling up on the Yankees. Lucky Lefty on the Nats first 5 money line. Coin on that Baltimore first 5 under 4.5, and here on the Mets first 5 under 4.5. I like that. All right, so we have the gift. I've doubled up. Daby Cab looking to add it to his action, and Jose just bet it 20 minutes ago. So we have back-to-back action for me. Next up, 7:20 p.m. Eastern. And I had a tough time deciding exactly how I wanted to fade Yonny Chirinos here. And I didn't want to... the Braves are hitting 238, 764 versus righties in July. They've stopped ripping the leather off the ball, but we know what they're capable of. When I was doing that stat from June 1st, their OPS was over 9, and they were the best in the league. Here, I think that one thing we always talk about is trust the Tampa Bay Rays. Trust everything they do with a pitcher and pitching staff. They didn't want Chirinos in their lineup. And Hauser is good at times. It makes me nervous, anyone going up against the Braves. And I could be wrong. And that's why I wasn't going to double up. Even though the Brewers' first 5 plus a half was -102 at Pinnacle. I could have made that bet with no vig and a plus a run. But do I really want to have money on the Brewers when the Braves see Hauser for a second time? And my answer is no. So even though at Bet365, the first 5 was plus 135, at least plus 135. It was plus 135. I got the first 3 20 cents worse. But that was my move. I'm on the Brewers first 3 at plus 115. SLW Buck says Brewers are 17-2 in road games after a shutout the last 3 seasons. Big Cash Glizzy's on the Brewers money line. Robert Franklin's on the Brewers money line. And look, the Brewers bullpen's been very good of late. 2.91 ERA since July 1st. Braves bullpen at 3.46. I know the Braves are a better baseball team than the Brewers, and I need to cut this down to as short as possible and just focus on fading Trinos and getting a plus line. So that's what I've done. Let's take a look at the weather and set up the market and then hand it over to Daby Cab. We have 95 Fahrenheit, feels like 98 in hot land, 5.9 miles per hour in between 5.9 and 5.5. Let's go over to Ballpark Pal here for this one. We have the expectation here at Truist Park, minus 1% home runs, plus 1% runs. So just because it's hot doesn't necessarily mean the ball is flying. BJ just moved on the Yankees money line as well. Wow. Okay, so then let's go to the line history here for this one. On the money line, we have the Brewers opening up at plus. God, there has been a big move back to them. I thought that this was possible, but God damn it. So this opened up at plus 155. When I moved on the first three, it was down to plus 142. This was the last bet I made. So I made it about, 2.5 hours ago. There's been, buyback on the Braves. But still, the Braves have gone from minus 169 to minus 164. And the total has gone from, I got the first five has gone from 5.5 to 6. So they're saying there's a lot of volatility. And the full game has gone from 9.5 to 10. It actually opened up at 10 at Pinnacle and dropped to 9.5 about 35 minutes in, and then only lasted there for 10 minutes and came back to 10. And it's not dropped to 9.5 since. We've had 6 cents of movement on the over here. So let's take a look at the cash flow on this one. We have 16% of the tickets and 3% of the cash on the Milwaukee Brewers. And that was the same situation. It was 3.97 or whatever 3 hours ago. The market was clearly moving in the Brewers' direction. Then you have 38% of tickets, 87% of cash on the under. The public is on the over. And that's telling me that Trinos is capable of pitching better than I maybe have him set up for. This is his first start as a Brave. Trinos, 8-4 loss at the Royals. He allowed 3 earned runs and 3 solo shots in 4 2/3 in his final start. It was at Kansas City. And I can't wait to hear Daby Cab's plan. Take it away, Brewers, Braves. You're on mute, my man. You're still on mute, my guy.
No, but I got double muted there. Hold
Okay.
on 1 second.
It's all good.
See everyone.
Let me see. Almost done. I got to do the whole thing switches. There. Now we're back on my mic. There we go. Everyone saw that, right? It's not fucking me. This thing does it. I ordered another mic, so that'll fix it. I saw John in the chat. He said Braves cooled down. Are they on a slump? Look, that's what baseball is, man. Anybody who thought the Braves were going to stay as hot as they were, obviously hasn't paid attention to baseball because, everybody's going to have streaks one way or the other, regardless if it's the best or the worst team. And right now, Milwaukee, they're on one of those streaks also. They've won 9 of their last 13 games. And you look at Atlanta, they've lost 7 of their last 10. So, like I said, that's what baseball is. Even at home, the Braves have lost 4 of their last 5 games played at home. And Hauser here, he did well against the Braves just recently. They had the 4-3 win. The Brewers did. I think he had 10 strikeouts. I should have written that down. I don't have that written down. He had 10 strikeouts against them. But this is a spot where, Jimmy, everything for me caps towards the Brewers. And I agree with what you're doing. I have a couple rules in baseball. There's certain things I don't do. And it's going to sound silly because it's so simple. But one of them that I've told Jose, and I made this rule at the beginning of this season, and I just stuck to it, is I don't fucking bet against the Braves. I just don't do it. It doesn't seem like something that would be profitable. I don't bet on the A's, and I don't bet against the Braves. There's just certain things that I won't do. And regardless how people feel about it, it's a rule that I've stuck to, and right now it's working for me. So this caps all the way to the Brewers. I get it, and I agree with what you're doing here. I think Chirinos is definitely a fade, and I think him being minus 164 is the main reason why I think the Brewers are the side. This should be sitting at like minus 120 for the Braves, tops.
Yeah, it all makes sense to me. It makes sense to me, staying away from fading the Braves. They're a very, very good baseball team. but they're certainly not hitting the way they were, and they're certainly not as scary over the last few days. That can change immediately, but I'm comfortable here. But if I had have waited a bit, we're hearing now Barry Horse is on the Braves. If I had waited a bit, I would have got plus 120 on the first three. Washington Redskins says, just curious why you guys seem to care about line movement. Says, if I like a game, I don't care about what the movement is. I guess, Washington Redskin, have you ever heard of a sports book going bankrupt? Losing all their money? Because they become worth more and more and more money.
They know what they're doing.
If you don't want to know what the sports books want you to bet, if you don't care about that, I just don't think you're taking in all of the information. That's about the nicest way of me saying it. You're just not taking in all of the information. Do you see how much money FanDuel and DraftKings are making? I mean, like, you don't want to know where they're moving the market? It's just that simple. This is all about getting the most information possible. And if you deem that information that you don't care about, I can't fathom you succeeding in this business. That's all. All right. I can understand staying away from fading the Braves, but they just don't look as dangerous right now. Let's move on. 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Minnesota Twins at Kansas City Royals. There's our guy, Fat Cat Ninja, in the house. Nice to see you. Says, hit the like, my ninjas. Today's a cash money day. Respect, Fat Cat. So I've seen a lot of people moving on the Twins here, and I want so badly to back my man Brady Singer. I've been so successful backing Brady Singer over the last year and a half, and I want to do it again. Sonny Gray did not look very good for a while. He looked better in his last start at home versus the White Sox. Look, the White Sox aren't hitting. I don't care. Sonny Gray is he dealing with some arm fatigue? He's an older pitcher. I imagine that the All-Star break, helped him. I know he pitched in it, but before the All-Star break, he allowed 6 earned runs. After the All-Star break, he allowed 5 earned runs. I just don't fear him at all. I don't fear him at all. Razor Sharp Pick saying that Gambler's First Glance video is up. I will retweet that as well, Razor. And thanks for sharing that with us. Arnillo says Twins or pass. Big Cash Glizzy says Sonny don't got it right now. Browns Hughes on the over 9.5. And Rocco Rogers says Twins -1. -135 might be public, but he doesn't care. They both smash. Professor Chris says Twins should be huge favorites. He bet both the money line and the run line. Wash Redskin says KC is a horrible team. Fade them. And I get it. I get that they're a horrible team. But let's just talk a little bit about how much money Brady Singer has made his backers at home. So versus the Tampa Bay Rays as enormous underdogs in his last home start. They won 8-4. That was Yonny Chirinos' last start. But he did allow 4 runs there. What about against the Dodgers in his second to last home start? Just ridiculous dogs. They won 9-1. He went 7 innings and allowed 1 earned run. Let's go back. His third last home start against the Guardians. They lose 2-1. But he was awesome. No earned runs, over 6 innings, and allows 4 hits. He is so good at home. If we go back let's go back to his last 5 home starts.
When you think about backing him, do you look at the under also, or do you just think about the Royals as a side? Like, are you looking to fade Gray? I guess I'm trying to ask, are you looking to fade Gray here, or just how are you looking at this?
Well, I don't trust Sonny Gray here. So generally I've been on unders and backing Brady Singer. If I only bet unders, I'd be doing better than backing him because, as I said, they lost to the Guardians. They're not always winning first fives and stuff like that. TJ says he's just waiting for the first 5 to get to 5.5 so he can take the under. So I understand that I've not moved on the Royals yet because all I saw were people putting out that they were on the Twins today, and I thought, well, if we wait, we'll get a better number. And I really think that I need to wait until this game pops off at 8:10 p.m. Eastern. I think I need to wait till 7:45, 7:50. I think the public will be hammering the Twins here. So let's just talk about the weather and the line, and I've not bet this yet. So, and then hear what our guy Daby has to say about this spot. So first off, weather-wise in Kansas City, and we've gone back. There's cappers who've talked about how this is an easy place to hit, and I've talked about how it's hard. We're kind of both right. It's an easy place because the outfield's so expansive, but it's hard to hit home runs here. It's 102 Fahrenheit, feels like 104, 14.4 miles out, 10.7 at the lowest spot. Minus 12% home runs, though, here. Plus 17% runs. Though. So let's take a look at the line history for this one. And we have this total just keeps climbing. It just keeps climbing. This opened up at 9. It's now at 10. It opened up at 9. It lasted for 18 minutes before it moved to 9.5. It moved to 10 at 8:48 this morning. So we have a big move to the over. And then on the money line, this opened up at, that's just not moving. Still not moving. Okay, we have 5 cents of movement. So it's gone up. The Royals have become 2 cents worse since 6 p.m. last night. Wow, so it's not moving towards the Twins at all. I still think if I can just be patient enough, it should, hearing so many people on them. But let's see what the cash flow is telling us here. Cash flow says that 85% of the tickets and 64% of the cash are on the Twins. 64% of tickets, 60% cash on the under, and it keeps going up. So this is wildly fun. This is as much fun as I can imagine.
That's crazy.
Singer's last 8 at home from TJ, 2.89 ERA, 1.29 whip, 3.73 FIP. And Moose Money says Sonny has crazy streak runs. Will be a Cy Young candidate for 3 months and then look like a long reliever. Moose says data point would be spin rate on his curve. If it diminishes, he doesn't have tertiary pitches to adjust with. Take it away for us here, Daby Cab, Twins, Royals.
Man, everything from the chat and that you just got, man, it's outside of the money, which is what tripped me out when you said the money. I think the first 5 under, especially if you're getting like a 5.5 now, I think that feels like a great look in this spot. I mean, you touched on it with Sonny Gray. He's got 20 starts. He's only 4-4 on the season, though. He does have 8 quality starts. Those were mostly earlier in the season. He's given up 100 hits and 111 innings pitched, a 3.15 ERA. But I'll skip towards the end here where you were talking about it. 0-2 with a 6.62 ERA in his last 3 starts. I don't know if something's wrong. People figured something out, tipping pitches, or it's a spin rate thing like Moose is talking about. But that's 3 rough starts in a row. And everybody's been talking about Singer, at home, his last 7 starts, he's been spectacular. For me, the Royals offense is dog shit, and we don't have to hide that. Doesn't mean there's not good spots to make money on them. But knowing that and knowing that Gray has got to be, eager to get a quality start here against a lower team everything makes me think under. But if they're inviting money to the under, I don't think I can bet that confidently anymore.
I apologize for mispronouncing tertiary. I don't want to double up here. I don't want to double up on the first 3 and first 5. That's there's nothing wrong with being wrong in what we're doing. What's hurt me this year is being wrong and doubling up spots. There's our guy Big Show Picks, going to be a father, baby boy on the way. Shout out to Big Show.
Congratulations.
I don't want to be wrong in a double up. So I'll have to decide if it's the first 3 or first 5, but goddamn, do I want to double up on this one? I really, really want to double up. I'm okay with not doubling up in the Brewers Braves spot. Like you said, you don't want to fade the Braves, but this one here, I just really, really want to double up on Brady early here. I think that Sonny Gray is such a vet, and I don't want to say anything negative about him. He's a good pitcher, but Brady Singer made me so much money last year, and I got on him before the market at home about 2.5 months ago, and he's been one of the few bright spots in my campaign. Twins are smashing righties. They're playing very good ball. They're hitting 267, 847 OPS versus righties. And they scare me. You know, Kirilloff was the AL Player of the Week last week. But I really want the Royals first 3 and first 5, and I'm going to wait. I still think that the public is going to be betting the Twins, but if this market just doesn't move, it's about moving on it as soon as possible. Tori Coker says, "What about no runs in the first in Minnesota? If you believe in Sonny Gray starting here, and do it." TJ says Minnesota first 5 team total under 2.5 at plus 105. I love that you're on the same angle with me, TJ. I'm nervous, obviously going up against Rocco Rogers because I see how much he cashes. But and Tori Nasty Nate just moved on that. TJ says then you don't need KC runs. I think that there's volatility obviously in this game with the weather and it moving to 10. I'm going to take my chances that Brady Singer is going to outpitch Sonny Gray here. We'll see. Is there anything you want to make official here?
No, with the books, inviting more money on the under, I can't bet it because that, to me, I think this game goes under, and I'm going to pay very close attention to this. I think this game should stay under, but it's crazy to me that they're just constantly raising the total with the money on the under also.
Yeah, this is going to be a really, really fun one. I can't wait to watch this one. Professor Chris says, even if KC wins today, it's the wrong price at plus 136. He says, you would need better than 200 to find positive EV on the Royals today. I wonder what your numbers would need for a first 5. It's not plus 136, though, anywhere. I don't believe. I think the lowest line, because we got the lowest line on KC is a plus 140 at Will Hill, plus 146 at other books. Pinnacle plus 144. God, I'm going to have to double that up. North End says build that mini first 5 team total up to 3. I'm excited about this one. Okay, so let's move on here, and I can't wait to hear your breakdown on Shane McClanahan in our next start. 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Tampa Bay Rays 62-43, 25-24 on the road at the Houston Astros, 58-45, 27-23 at home. We're at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Shane McClanahan going up against Christian Javier. Quickly, Rocco wanting to close up on this last one says, as far as pitching, Jimmy, the Twins have way more of a full game advantage than first 5 advantage. So your first 5 Royals look says he doesn't feel like you're completely going against the Twins full game look. I hear you, Rocco. No doubt that. But the Twins bullpen's 4.92 ERA since July 1st. The Royals 5.93. We know the Twins bullpen's better than those numbers indicate, but it's going to be it's going to be such a fun card. I can't wait for tonight. I wish that I wasn't working on not boozing every night because I feel like this is a good night for a bottle and darkness and multiple thousands of dollars in action and just pacing back and forth. But those days, sadly, are behind me. Big Cash Glizzy says Astros win. McClanahan versus Javier. McClanahan just doesn't look as dominant of late. It's a pretty easy thing to say. He has Cy Young numbers overall on the season, but he's not looked very good of late. His last start, he allowed 5 earned runs over 4 innings and a 6-5 loss at home versus the Orioles. That was the Grayson Rodriguez start. I think that Grayson Rodriguez going into Tampa and going up against Shane McClanahan. Remember, they're not drawing flies anymore. They get at least 20,000 fans at each game. Now this is a bigger one. It's going to be completely packed in Baltimore against Cole. But I think Rodriguez can handle this. We have Jose Bouquet back in action for this one. So let me set this up very quickly. Don't need to worry about the weather. So let's just go right into the line history here. We'll start with the money line. The money line. This opened up with the Astros at minus 102. They're now plus 101. So you have 3 cents of movement to the Tampa Bay Rays. From a total standpoint, this opened up at 8 and moved to 8.5. It moved to 8.5 at 8:01 p.m. So it's now juiced to the over at 8.5. So, but we have a move to the over, and we have a very slight move to the Rays. Very interesting to see what this cash tells us. Cash-wise here, 51% of the tickets and 73% of the cash on the Rays. 67% of tickets, 55% cash on the over. So 33% of the tickets and 45% of cash on the under. Javier, last start, 2 earned runs, allowed in a 4-1 loss at the A's. He didn't look that good. He walked 6 batters. He didn't look sharp. 4.32 ERA, 1.22 whip. He's been very good at home this year. That was at Oakland. That was at Oakland Coliseum. At home, 42 innings, 3 ERA, 35 strikes, 11 walks, 3 home runs, 252 opponents batting average. Astros first lefties, 276, 809 since July 1st. Rays first righties, 215, 654. And this Rays bullpen, 3.86 ERA. Astros bullpen has been struggling. Coin says 33% of tickets, 45% of cash on the under, that the under 8.5 feels right to him. Trill OG play of the day, Astros money line. Says they are 16-1 in their last 17 when allowing 8+ runs their last game. Big Cash Glizzy saying the same thing. He says Astros mad after the Rangers game. Definitely. Professor Chris says he's on the Rays. Model as the Rays money line minus 140 and run line plus 125. Says I bet both minus 112 plus 152 respectively. Take it away, Jose. I see that you've joined us. I'm fascinated to hear both of your breakdowns on expectations of Shane McClanahan. What's your spot, Jose?
Yeah, I think both these pitchers pitch well. So this was an easy first 5 under here, 4.5. I forgot what juice I got on it already. But Shane, like you said, has not been pitching well. But I think he's a guy that can get up for an occasion like this, kind of the stopper dude on this team. So I think he can pitch well against an Astros team that is admittedly hitting lefties really well. 9th full season, 110 weighted runs created plus. This month in 301 plate appearances against lefties, 123 weighted runs created plus. That's 8th best in the league. So they've been hitting it. And most of them, almost all those numbers are without Altuve and Yordan is a lefty. So I'm not particularly worried about him against Shane McClanahan here. So it's going to be fun. I bet first 5 under, like Coin's mentioning here, playoff type game here. This could absolutely be the ALCS this year. This is actually like the 2 favorites for World Series coming out of the AL. These 2 squads, obviously the markets still don't respect the Orioles, but whatever. And it's funny that the Astros are still the number 1 favorite to come out of the American League, even though they've had a semi-shitty year in their game out of the playoffs. So I think that Christian Javier also, he's been just rough at points this year. His 7-2 record is the most deceiving 7-2 out there. I've seen that Astros fans worrying about him, but it seems like he's getting his shit in order. At one point, his release point and his fastball was a little weird, and shout out to Baseball Savant for being able to track that stuff. So it looks like he's starting to get his shit together. So I bet the first 5 under here, and shout out to the market, and Coin was saying that as well. So yeah, first 5 under.
Markel, great to see you. Great breakdown, Jose. I can't wait to hear Daby Cab's analysis of and expectations of Shane McClanahan. Take it away, Daby.
Well, and I just want to start off first saying that, like, Jose and everybody likes to act like I always go against Jose. This is twice that I thought you had a great breakdown, and I agree with what you said. So don't give me that shit. I thought that was good. I agree with a lot.
I said nothing. I said absolutely nothing.
All right. Well, McClanahan, on the season has been outstanding. Like you said, Cy Young type numbers, a 2.89 ERA, 11-1, 1.16 whip, only 41 walks with 112 strikeouts, and that's 106 innings of work. So he's up there. And I always say to pay attention. A lot of pitchers will hit a little bit of a slump, even if they've done it before, right? When they get around that 100 inning mark, it's just something that happens. But the good pitchers, you'll see push through it, and they come out, on the other side. So we're going to see whether or not McClanahan can do that. His last 13 innings, his last 13 innings, he's got a 7.62 ERA, a 1.46 walk, 6 walks, and only 12 strikeouts to go with that. He's still getting his stuff up there. But his numbers against the Astros, he's 0-2 with the 7 ERA, a 1.66 whip, 5 walks and 5 strikeouts over 9 innings of work. So he's been, taking taken out back against the Astros a couple times here. His only start at Minute Maid Park is October 1st, 2022. He lost that game also. So a lot of this caps to saying, like, I understand why LJ's on the Astros. But for me, this is a not just Cy Young numbers. This is a Cy Young candidate who could easily get right and win the fucking Cy Young. That is who we're talking about here. And I fully expect him to bounce back here. I love the fact that I'm getting a money line price on him. I took the Rays first 5 on the money line. And if I get beat on this bet, guess what? If he's money line price next start, I'll fucking bet it again, because that's how I bet baseball. Everybody has their own strategies and different strategies. I find something that I think that should work or that does work, and I continue with it. And McClanahan on the money line is something that I'll bet almost every time it's available.
And I'm going to pull up your Twitter here. What did you get?
Let me pull it up for you too. Let me pull up my bet account real quick. Minus 106. So it's moved a little since then.
I do like the Astros side though as well. He's still, like Morgan Spinner, still one of the most profitable pitchers in baseball, but you can fade him obviously in his spots. And I like the Astros side here just because they're just better team in the last month, and the Rays against righties in the last month, 24th, 85 weighted runs created plus. Shot to Noli knows that witch doctor. He put the spell on the Rays when he told you about that, Jimmy.
I just the Orioles are 8-5 since the All-Star break. They're doing enough. I need more. I still fear the Jays getting back into the race.
Pavy keeps telling me to bet those futures.
Yeah, I mean, that Dodgers series was very good. The Mariners series was very bad. There's just no consistency out of this young group. But
I want to say one last thing on this really quick about Christian Javier. My problem with this guy is he walks way too fucking many people all the time. He's always consistently walking people. And when you've got a team that's struggling, like the Rays scores, and they're definitely in a slumps, everybody knows that. Walking people is a slump buster. That's how you get a team out of a slump right there, is giving them free base runners. So that's another thing. I know Christian Javier 7-2 on the season, but he's got 33 walks to the 94 strikeouts. And if you look at his last 3 starts, where did I just lose my numbers here? He's got a 7.8 ERA, 16 strikeouts, and 8 walks. So his walks, like I said, he gives too many free passes. And I think that's something that helps teams get out of slumps.
I love this game. I just Vital says market on the over here. They don't believe in McClanahan anymore. He's been costing bettors money. Sharps and analysts on the over. Billy Friedrich says Astros lineup hits Rue. 43 plate appearances, 359 average, slugging 667.
That took me a second. I was like, Rue, and then I forgot.
Oh, how could you forget? How could you forget? Rue McClanahan could win the Cy Young this year.
Yeah, she could. She's probably the leader. Well, we didn't mention this one either.
No, we did. I brought.
Well, we didn't. Do we used to call her by her proper name? I only heard Mitch, unfortunately.
No, it's my fault. But yes, Helen Mitch Keller. Get back to Rue though. She's ready to go, man.
I mean, look at that neckline. Look at that fucking turkey gobbler.
No one's looking at her neckline. What the fuck, man?
I am.
Jesus Christ!
That little crease in her neck right there, little sweat line.
Okay, let's get back to work here. I'm off this game. But I would like to fade Shaden McClanahan. Let's just, okay, you know what? Before we move past this, I don't want to leave money on the table. Let's just do this real quickly, okay? Let's just go over his last starts one by one here and see if there's a sign of his bounce back. What the hell is this? Sorry, here we go. Let's go over Shane McClanahan starts here and see if there's a possibility of him bouncing back here. At the Rangers, he looked pretty good. 6 innings, 2 earned runs. That was 2 starts back. But he's not looked good in his last 4 starts. I mean, we have to go back to June 16th.
Yeah, but that's so 3 starts ago he came out with the blister.
Yes.
So those are real. So if anybody who thinks that's just some kind of pitcher complaint, those things are real and they fucking suck. It's gonna go away.
Did you piss on your fingers to make it go away?
No, I didn't piss on my fucking hands, Jose.
Okay. Hey, I gotta ask a question. Shout out to Moist Salute.
Just don't let him stare at your neckline.
Sure.
Right.
True.
All right. So at this point, then you study McClann. You're putting your money on him. You think that his third start since the blister issue, that he's good to go here, and he's going to shove against, a team that they've battled against.
That's the most concerning part of my bet. I think Christian Javier could have a pretty good start against the Rays, who again have been struggling offensively. And by the way, Yandy Diaz just hitting the ball back on the ground, not hitting home runs again. Fucking biggest dude ever. But Shane McClanahan versus the Astros is the most concerning part of my bet. I might end up making the Astros a money line official on my show as well. But I do think that we get a good performance out of Shane coming back after, those last couple, whether that be 6 innings, 2 runs, we'll see. But I do think he pitches well here.
Joe, you were saying Rays are a 500 team on the road. Look, the Astros are almost a 500 team at home.
Awesome.
So, can you give a final thought on I know you've touched on it a bit, but Daby Cab, can you give me a final thought on the blister, third start after the blister? You think he's fine now?
Let me look, Jimmy. Any of us that get up here and say, "Oh, we're going to win this," look like an ass clown. Okay, any bet can lose, but I don't feel any less confident seeing good cappers that I respect and hearing Jose say that he's. You could bet the Astros too if you want. I don't feel any less confident. I'm backing a fucking potential Cy Young winner here on a money line price. If I lose, I'll do it again.
No, I get it. Look, your record speaks for itself.
So, I like the looks that we're dropping here.
Looks? What does that mean?
Yeah, Dabby dropped a look, Jimmy. And then Jimmy dropped a look, your record. So I like what we're doing here. I like it.
Jose, listen.
Exactly. Those are the words that like really get you listening and going.
Shout out to TJ. He's off, back to work. Thank you for all the hard work that you put into our show today, TJ, my man. All right, Cabby's on the Rays, first 5 -106. Trill OG play today is the Astros money line. Jose's on the first 5 under 4.5. I've got nothing on that one. Let's move on to 8:15 p.m. Chicago Cubs at St. Louis Cardinals. Now, this game is not on a lot of the sites yet. Is it here on? It's not on anything. It's not on anything. So, no odds bunch. We weren't talking about Javier having a blister odds bunch. We were talking about Shane McClanahan having a blister. Okay, so Joe Yerger says Shane's out 17.5. Can he go 6? The issue here in this baseball game, as far as I know, is the Cubs are deciding who is going to be the opener for Drew Smyly. So that's all. When they announce that Drew Smyly is going to be the focal point of this day for the Cubs, we have to bet the Cardinals as soon as possible. And I'm a fan of Drew Smyly, and he's been absolutely atrocious. And that's the issue right now. They don't want to start him. They don't want him out there. So I guess the possibility here is now that they're starting to get back into this Central Division race, maybe they don't bother, maybe they don't bother using him at all. That's why the books are so hesitant, because he has a 9.86 ERA over his last 21 innings, dating back to June 28th. He's a mess. He's an absolute mess right now. And his last start was against these Cardinals, and they got to him. So that's what the books are doing here. There's our guy, Dan Bonner, in the house. Nice to see you, Dan Bonner. I love it. Respect. Been too long. So that's what we don't need to talk more about this game, because we need to figure out what the hell's going on with the Cubs, whether they're going to use Smyly or not. So this is twofold. This is also going to open up a great live betting situation. If the opener comes in and looks okay, the primary is Drew Smyly, immediately live bet the Cards. Live bet the Cards team total overs. The Cards, the reason why this isn't out right now is because there are, and look, South Point and Superbook are hanging -145 for action on the Cards. Look, Do you want the Cards if Drew Smyly is not on the mound? I don't know. This is a really angry group after what happened with Michaelis yesterday. So that's up to you. That's your decision. Now, the last time Smyly pitched, Fulmer was the opener. So I want to do the due diligence here. Jordan Montgomery, 3.37 ERA, 1.23 WHIP. He's coming off an awful start at the Cubs. Do we think he's going to be better at home, where he's got a 3.39 ERA, 262 opponent's batting average? If we're going to go this deep into the game here, at least talk about that, we should look at who is it that destroys Jordan Montgomery. Now, Deacon says it won't matter who's on the mound. At least for me, live betting and betting this, it matters a great deal because I watch Smyly closely. He's as bad as I've ever seen him. And we know with Smyly, he's either, a pretty good crafty lefty or he's absolutely horrific. God, sorry, it just flipped off. So I just want to do this due diligence here. Mel says that she's waiting for a total to be posted so she can bet the over in the Cubs-Cardinals game. So the only thing we can talk about is our expectation of Montgomery. And that's the only thing that we know of. But for me, I'm only going to bet this game if I know that Smyly's going to get out there. Yan Gomes is hitting 412 against Montgomery. Bellinger's hitting 429. Trey Mancini hitting 345. Suzuki hitting 364. So maybe it's just an over bet. Deacon saying Smyly not announced because they're waiting to see if a trade is in the works. That does make a ton of sense. Odds Bunch says Montgomery's ERA over when they give it to me. These boys own Monty. And sweet. Great to have you back, Odds Bunch. I see the yellow star beside your name, so I know you've been with us for a long time, and we thank you very, very much for that. There's Mike M in the house. Great to see you, Mike M. And the model has the Cards at minus 124. So Eric Jones says Cards 11-4 straight up in this spot, 2-12 to the under. Joe Yerfis says total 8.5 right now, pretty low. I think that means they're going to do whatever they can not to play Smyly here. Do you have anything you want to mention on this game? Because there's no lineup. Do you want to talk about Montgomery? Your thoughts?
Instead of Montgomery, what I can say is the Cubs have put up 42 runs in their last 5 games. I'll say that again. They've scored 42 runs in their last 5 games. So for me, probably won't have – I'd look live. Like you said, this is somewhere you want to look live. You got to see what's going on.
It feels like I got to see the line movement, mark movement. I got to analyze it and see who's pitching for the Cubs. So
that's an outstanding number. That's ridiculous. 42 runs in 5 games is just that's fucking ridiculous.
Oh shit! It's Sharpie. Oh Jesus! Sorry, I wasn't. I did. Jesus. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry, Sharpie. I didn't realize that, man. My bad. It is Sharpie. I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on there, and I was, I guess, a little slow to it. Sorry, Sharpie. It's good to see you. Good to see you, buddy. Star of the Walking Dead, right there. Changed his YouTube name for his channel. Okay. Respect, my man. Nice to see you. All right, Sharpie in the house. Okay, let's move on here. Walking Dead popping off in 2 hours and 15 minutes. 8:40 p.m. Eastern next up, and this was off because of waiting for Kyle Freeland to be activated from the IL. Oh, no, it's not. They knew he was going to be activated. Now it's unknown pitcher for the A's. So it's not going to be JP Sears. Who would have thunk that? Okay, so I thought we were all just waiting for Freeland to be activated. Let's see who RotoWire has listed here. That surprises me. Let's move over here. Let me just move to RotoWire very, very quick and get these lineups and see what their expectation is. I thought that, well, I don't need to repeat myself. They still have Sears right there. Okay, the books don't have a pitcher listed for the A's. Obviously, that's the issue with the delay. So Mel says it's still looking like JP Sears. DraftKings even has Sears lines posted for strikeouts. Bet365 does not. And when we go to Pitcher strikeouts. No, they do have Sears listed for strikeouts. Why would they have unknown pitcher? All right, you know what? Let's just cap it as if it's Sears versus Freeland. Sears 1-7, 4.19 ERA, 1.05 WHIP. His last start, he allowed 5 earned runs over 5 2/3 at home. The capper who's able to pick and choose when to back Sears for great profits is Sharpie in the chat here as the odds bunch. On the road, Sears has been quite good this year. 4.01 ERA, but 215 opponents batting average, 58 Ks to 15 walks. The problem here is it's very offensive weather in Colorado, 87 Fahrenheit, 9.7 miles per hour right to left, but then it becomes in. But the thin air up with elevation has Ballpark Pal expecting a ton of runs, plus 22% homers, plus 30% doubles and triples, plus 28% runs here. Sharpie says, I've got to think the only reason why he would be off the board is he's the only good trade PCAs have. That's a really, really good point. That's a really, really good point. Okay. So then let's pull up is there a line history here? It says Oakland undecided. That's got to be it. I think Sharpie nailed it. It's got to be because he could be dealt at any moment. The Rockies open up minus 115 and now minus 120. From a total side of things, we have this opening up at 11. That's where it is right now. It's at 11, and Pinnacle has it at minus 108 to the over. This dropped to 10.5 for a little bit, so you need to know if Sears is going to be in lineup. And then Kyle Freeland, what's he going to give you? He hurt himself when I was in LA. So the Friday, it was the Sunday. I was in LA. Whenever that was, I was 8 Hennies deep at Nutflush's house. But we watched it. He was handling a bunt, and he dislocated his non-throwing shoulder. So he should be fine. He still should be fine. But we need to know this information. Can you touch on what it's like when you hurt your non-throwing shoulder, if that does affect something? Because you would know.
I've never personally done it. My buddy David Rollins, he pitched for Seattle a couple years ago. He went to my high school with me, and he was in left field. We were in a big game, man, and I was pitching, and a kid hit a ball out to him. And I kid you not, he was standing under the fly ball. He didn't do anything, but his fucking arm just dislocated, like out of nowhere. It just like slumped to the side. So he didn't catch the ball. The team that we were playing against ended up scoring 2 runs because of it. It would have been the third out. He ended up pitching fine and bouncing back. That's my only experience with that. That's a weird, your front shoulder still has a lot to do with it. But I don't know how bad when you dislocate something, it could be really fucking bad, or it could be not that big of a deal. You just pop it in and keep going. You know what I mean?
I feel you. Yeah, I've always thought it was like sort of a non-issue.
Freeland pop it back and go usually.
Yeah, Freeland was pitching quite well. At least he was excellent in that game before he hurt himself. And do you have any feel on this spot with these two lefties going at it?
The only thing that, Freeland he is what he is. He's always been about what he is right now. But my only thought is, even with the hitters weather and everything here, Oakland's team total under, if you're really giving fucking 5.5 on Oakland, I don't see Oakland scoring 6 runs. I don't care where they're at. I'm not going to bet that, but that's what I would probably do if I was going to bet this game.
A one for the money. That's tomorrow's starters, by the way, that you keep mentioning. Blackburn and Anderson. That's tomorrow. Dan Bonner, we did CFL yesterday, the full CFL card, and I'm obviously put myself in a horrible situation with the Red Blacks, but it is what it is. Mel says, based on local coverage here in Denver, Freeland is good to go and feeling great. I have 7 bets in CFL, so I'm very, very pumped up. But the only one I don't have is the Alouettes stamps at this point. Eric Jones says under 11 here. Well, I think Sharpie nailed it. We need to find out if Sears is in. So you ready to move on past this bad boy?
You talking about football? College football is right around the corner, Jimmy. I can't wait for that.
It is, man. It is. I'm pumped. Joe Yurkovich says Cards Cubs off the board. He bets Montgomery will be traded. Well, we'll see. I think it's all about Smiley, but they're important to wait and see what happens there. All right, let's go. We have just 4 games left. Next up, 9:40 p.m. Eastern. Seattle Mariners at Arizona Diamondbacks. Mariners 52-50, 23-25 on the road. Arizona Diamondbacks 55-48, 27-26 at home. Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. We have Logan Gilbert going up against Tommy Henry. Gilbert versus Henry. Let's pull up the line history. We know the roof will be closed. Going to be ridiculous temperatures in Arizona. From a totals perspective, this opened up at 9 juice at the pick'em. There's been 3 cents of movement to the under. From a money line perspective here, we have a move. It looks like a slight move to Arizona. 7 cents of movement. Open up plus 121, now plus 114. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this one. I haven't touched on it in a bit here. So okay, here we go. We have 75% of the tickets and 93% of the cash on Seattle and 7 cents of movement towards Arizona. Wow. Now, there's only 4,800 tickets counted, but that's interesting. 88% of tickets, 85% of cash on the under. That all tells me that Logan Gilbert is vulnerable, according to the marketplace. He did not look good in his last start. 9-8 win at home versus the Jays. I've said on this show many times that Logan Gilbert and George Kirby are tricky to figure out when they're going to be spectacular and when they're going to look real mediocre. Logan Gilbert was very mediocre. They got lucky to win 9-8 in that one. That was when he went up against Gaussman. On the road, though, he's been very good this year. 209 opponents batting average, 3.26 ERA. Why not trust him? Tommy Henry's been very good at home this year. 3 ERA, 234 opponents batting average, allowed just 4 jacks over 42. In his last start, it wasn't that good. It was at the Reds, very pitcher-friendly situation. He went 4 1/3, allowed 4 runs, just 3 were earned. The Mariners are not hitting lefties, 240, 644, and the Diamondbacks are not hitting righties as well as they were, 243, 741 OPS. Mariners bullpen is 4.04 runs better over 9 innings than the Diamondbacks since July 1st. Stacks play today is on the over 9 in this one. Morgan Spooner liking back in Gilbert here, and Coin saying that there will be runs here. Take it away for us, Daby Cab, Mariners Diamondbacks.
See, it did it again. I'm good. Can you hear me good when it's not coming through my mic? Does it sound still all right?
It doesn't sound as good, but if it's tricky
Hold
to
on.
put together, don't worry about it.
It's not that big a deal. Hold on.
There we go.
Back.
Yeah.
Now we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Look, the Diamondbacks, we talk about baseball, and this is just with the eye test, okay? A lot of what I do, I'll give you guys numbers, but I'm going to talk about eye test here. The Mariners, to me, look like playoff Mariners from last year. And the Diamondbacks right now, I think this is real, and I think it continues. Their offense is still putting up runs. Their offense has serious weapons, but damn, their pitching staff has been rough lately. And this is kind of who I thought the Diamondback starting rotation was. And again, this is all eye test. I think the Diamondbacks continue to slide. I think this is a good price to back Gilbert. Again, I think the Mariners are starting to look like their playoff team from last year. I can start, giving out numbers, but on the eye test there, that's the most important thing a lot of times from what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing right now, the Diamondbacks continue to lose baseball games. On July 1st, you don't look that far back. They were 50-34, leading the NL West. Right now, they're 55-48. That's not a little slump. That's a huge slump, and I think it continues. I would only bet the Mariners if I was going to bet this game.
I understand that. I mean, we're sitting here with 72% of the tickets and 93% of the cash on the Mariners, and the market's moving towards the Diamondbacks here.
But I'm not betting it. So there's where you find a huge hole in what I'm saying right here.
Well, but Vitalis says the Sharps are on the Mariners, and the books, should probably be considered the sharpest of them all, are sitting here opening up their arms to Mariners cash. I think that the break was really good for the 1 day off or whatever was really good for the Diamondbacks. I'm not going to sit here and take the Diamondbacks on a full game when their bullpen is just being absolutely ludicrous. But I am going to take the Diamondbacks first 5 here. That's just way too much money on the Mariners. They're not hitting lefties. They shouldn't be trusted. Logan Gilbert has been good on the road this year, but that wasn't a very good start for him last out. Tommy Henry pitching in a horrific situation in his last start for a pitcher, very offensive that day at the Great American Ballpark. I'm gonna. This is enough for me to say, look, everybody's on the Mariners, and why would the books just be sitting back going, "This is great"? I think it's because Tommy Henry's more than capable of pitching well here, and the Mariners don't hit lefties. Diamondbacks got the day off to refresh. Mel says Tommy Henry underlying metrics are bad. Mariners rough him up tonight. When was the last time the Mariners roughed up a lefty? I mean, isn't this the perfect opportunity for Tommy Henry to throw here? I'd have to take a closer look here who they've last faced, but it's just they're not. I just don't believe that these Mariners offense is to be trusted. I mean, they beat up on Joe Ryan. I mean, they're hitting righties so hard right now, but they're just not hitting lefties. This will be fun. I can understand why everybody's on the Mariners, and 93% of cash is on the Mariners. 93% cash on the Mariners, and the line's moving towards the Diamondbacks. And I have enough to correlate why I'm going to move on it. But just first five for me. Diamondbacks first five. There's our guy DX Filer in the house. Joe Yurkovich says got conflicted reasons in this game. Let's roll on here. Mitchell Landers liking it. I love that you are rolling with me here. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be such a fun baseball card, and I can't fucking wait, man. We it's a puzzle. We deconstruct it, and then we bet and put our money on the line, and then we see what happens, and it's just extremely fun. Who needs anything else? Let's move on. We have 3 games left on the board, and Daby Cab has moved on 2 of them. 9:40 p.m. Eastern, Texas Rangers 16-43, 26-23 on the road at the San Diego Padres 49-54, 26-25 at home. We're at Petco Park in San Diego, California. I wanted so badly to bet Joe Musgrove. I wanted so badly to bet him here. So badly. And this spot reminded me so much of his start against Pittsburgh. And that day, I wanted so badly to bet Joe Musgrove, but all of the sharp big bets, the public was all over the Padres. All of the sharp big bets were on the Pirates, and I stayed off, and it was a 5-4 win for the Pirates, and it just, the whole thing shocked me from start to finish in that game, how the Pirates even had a chance. That was a 4-0 lead for the Padres disappeared. So I could have easily taken Musgrove first 3 and first 5 and still cashed. I remember that day so well. And here I wanted the Padres, and the line was not moving towards them, just like that day against Pittsburgh. So let's see what's going on here for the line history on the cash. There's still being just no movement towards the Padres. Padres open up at -160. They're now -153. 7 cents of movement towards the Texas Rangers. And on the total, we have sitting here opening at 8, and it's still at 8. 2 cents of movement to the over. So a slight move towards the Rangers, 2 cents of movement, really no movement on the total. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. We have 61% of the tickets and 80% of the cash on the Rangers. Well, at least that explains it. That's why the market's moving there. And then you have 38% of tickets, 74% of cash on the under. It's a lot of money on the under, which looks like sharp money, but the market's not moving there. So this is wild. This is wild. Okay, Dane Dunning going up against Joe Musgrove. We didn't talk about the weather. Let's get that done here. I got too many things up here. Okay, let's go to the weather in San Diego. We have 71 Fahrenheit, 7.8 miles per hour to right. It dies down to 7.1, and fog comes in. And so it looks like there's a marine layer that they're going to have to be dealing with here, which means I bet you Petco Park is not offensive. It's pretty offensive, though. It's hot. Plus 8%. Home runs, -5% overall, though. -5% overall. Dane Dunning here, last start, got lit up and smoked 16-3 at home versus the Dodgers. And he's been great all year. 8-3, 3.18 ERA, 1.17 WHIP, and then 2.79 ERA on the road, 240 opponents batting average here. Sharpie telling us that it's hot, humid, and sticky. And Troy Torrance says, Londo, the Sharps are on the Pirates every day. They sort of are. That's well put, Troy. They're one of those teams that they're on seems like every day. Musgrove coming off 3 earned runs in a 3-1 loss at the Tigers. That is the same situation as the Pirates game where I couldn't take them again. And now I'm going back. That was almost the exact same situation. Let's just for that was on what day was that game? I would like to. You know what? I'll pull it up. So I'll show you this similar market as we're seeing here today, and the Tigers won 3-1. The Rangers are hitting 298, 55 OPS, first righty since July 1st. Padres 246, 805. Rangers bullpen's been atrocious. They're trying to fix it. I'm sure they're going to try fixing it again here. We're leading up to August 1st. Padres bullpen's been real bad at 4.98, but they're not buying. Take it away for us, Daby Cab, Rangers, Padres.
Yeah. So what I've been doing, Jimmy, the reason I've been cashing the first 5 over in Rangers games is because what is real about this Rangers team is their offense. It's no joke. Even with Seager out, this offense is still electric from top to bottom, one of the best in baseball. And I just want to touch on this real quick. They will make a trade, like you just said. They have to. This team, anybody who thinks this team is building doesn't understand what they're looking at. This is an old baseball team. They have a lot of people that are 30-plus years old in this starting not rotation, just overall in the entire team. It's now or never. This team was built for this year, not for 4 or 5 years down the road like the Astros were, back in 2018. So anyways, off that, the reason I've been on the first 5 overs is because I don't think Dunning is as good as he's been pitching. I think he's been pitching way over his head. I don't think John Gray is as good as he's been pitching. I think he's been pitching way over his head. I think Evaldi has been pitching a little over his head too. I've still backed him more, but it's been pretty simple. I trust the Rangers to get runs. Even against elite pitchers like Musgrove, I trust the Rangers to go out there and get me 2 or 3 runs. And I think Dunning is going to continue to give it up. 2 starts ago against Tampa Bay, he went 7 innings and only gave up 2 runs. It looked like another one of his great starts this year. But you go 3 starts back, he gave up the 4 runs in 5 2/3 against Washington. And then, like you said, only went 3 innings, gave up 7 hits and 5 runs against the Dodgers. I think the Padres are good for a few runs off of him here. And I think the same for the Rangers off of Musgrove. So for that gives me an over in the first 5, which is something I've been making money on. And whether it hits here or not, I'm going to keep making money on it this year because it's going to keep hitting more than it doesn't. And I know that because of the way this lines up.
And you got plus money, first 5 over 4.5 at plus 102. So I was going back to that Musgrove spot just to talk about on Saturday night. It was like, 2 a.m. and I was at this big party. We had family in Vietnam, just so booze filled. I was like, oh, I'd like some action on Sunday. And I was like, oh, Musgrove. And the way it finished was 22% of the tickets were on the Tigers and 48% of the cash. And the market moved slightly towards the Tigers. And they won 3-1 as huge dogs. And I didn't bet it. I was like, well, look, I can't. It just doesn't work. We talk about these things. And it doesn't need to take you off a bet, but you would like it to correlate with your action. And I'm telling you, I stay off winners, but I stay off way more losers by focusing on these things. But again, track your action and see what you are succeeding with.
You see how this total is at 8, and I've even seen a 7.5 out there, maybe at only like a couple places. But it's gone up to 8.5 and, come back down to 8. Even at 8, they're not giving you a 4 in the first 5. They won't do it. Anywhere you look, there's not going to be a 4. It's going to be 4.5.
Yeah, I would like to look at that first 5 with you here. So you got 4.5 at plus 102. Let's move over the first 5 and see where it's at right now. So they're expecting Dunning to pitch well. There are no pluses out there. Bet Chris is offering a 4, but at minus 130. So it's very expensive if you want it. And here at Pinnacle, if you want to pay for it, because there's no pluses on the 4.5 either. They've all gone to over 4.5s all.
This line's moved quite a bit since last night. It's moved both ways too. What do you have like? You said the money was on the under?
Well, that first over 4.5 at Pinnacle is minus 104. So like you beat the movement there. If you want a 4 at Pinnacle, it's
No.
minus 140.
No.
Crazy. Yeah, no, of took the 4.5. And you want to know where the cash is on this total? You have 38% of tickets and 74% of cash on the under.
Wow.
So public on the over, bigger bets on the under, but market not moving. Yeah, I'm gonna stay off of this spot. Tater Tay says Padres can't score. Mel says, Daby, given these two bullpens, would you like a full game over 2?
Yeah. Over 8. Yeah, absolutely. I think whether it's the Rangers or the Padres, I think we see a 6-3 ball game around that area here. So I like the full game over 2. I just, the first 5 overs have been, anybody who's paid attention, I haven't cashed on it a little. It's probably been like my biggest moneymaker this year. So.
Oh, yeah, keep going back to it. And Mike M., our man, says Nate Lowe RBI at plus 200. Sounds good to him. Okay, let's move on. I'm off of that spot, but Daby is locked. We move on to 10:10 p.m. Eastern. This is a game I can't wait to talk about. Very interested to see what Brandon Williamson does in this situation. Cincinnati Reds, 56-48, 28-22 on the road at the LA Dodgers, 58-43, 30-18 at home at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Chavez Ravine. We heard it's hot in San Diego. Got to be hot in LA. 75 Fahrenheit at first pitch. 8.3 miles per hour to right. Between 6.8 and 8.3 miles per hour. Go over to Ballpark Pal here. See what they think of Dodger Stadium here. They have plus 15% home runs and plus 6% runs. So an offensive day. The ribeye play of the day is in from our friend Mikey M. Freeman, RBI at plus 150. Freeman, RBI. Freddie Freeman. God, is he ever locked in right now? Is he ever locked in? Troy says, I need the Dodgers to sweep, give my Cubs a chance to get back in contention for the division. Yes, I've noticed that they are back in contention. It's the Brewers that need to be worried about, too, because the Reds are going to be streaky. The Brewers are consistent. Joe Yerrick saying Musgrove, 10 of the last 11 quality starts. I want to bet Musgrove so bad, but I'm a little nervous about the spot today. Rance wanting to bet the over here. Williamson versus Bobby Miller. 2 young studs pitching against each other. Bobby Miller has got a ton of confidence, and Brandon Williamson has turned the corner. That was a really impressive performance in his last start. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, 1 walk, and a 4-2 win at home over Arizona. I know Arizona's not hitting. And he hasn't been awful on the road. Only 20 innings, 4.95 ERA, and the K to walk ratio is not where you want it, but he's only allowed 2 jacks, 243 opponent's batting average. Bobby Miller has not looked good at home. 5.93 ERA and 27 and a third, but God, he's got quality stuff. He just shut down Texas in his last start, 3 earned runs over 6 innings. These are 2 very good young pitchers. Both bullpens are pitching well. Reds versus righties since July 1st, just 233, 727, and Dodgers versus lefties, 242, 745. So let's take a look at the line history here for this one. No movement on this first 5 total, but let's take a look at the full game total here. And that first 5 sitting at 5.5. There's been movement on this full game. Some books came out at 9, heavily juiced to the over. Pinnacle didn't. They came out at 9.5, juiced to the over. So there was a slight move to the under. Overall, there's been 10 cents of movement to the under at 9.5. And then on the money line, we have, move this over here. On the money line, we have the Dodgers opening up at minus 223. They're now minus 218. So 5 cents of movement towards the Reds. Then from the cash flow, I can't wait to see this. This is what I most want to see. From the cash flow now that this line's been out for a while, a lot of bets, 8,585 tickets in. 33% of the tickets and 82% of the cash on the Reds. Then 29% of tickets and 60% of cash on the under. That's telling me that Williamson is going to pitch well. Big Cash Glizzy says, Bobby's my guy. I love backing him. Wow. I cannot wait to hear your breakdown of these 2 very good young pitchers. And I'm leaning towards Big Cash Glizzy on this under. Take it away, Daby Cab. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Good. I'm not muted. I do like the under in this one too. I mean, like you said, Williamson 2-2 record and 4.6 ERA. But he's, outstanding, elite this month. Over his last 4 starts, he's only allowed 5 runs, and that's through 20 innings of work. He did struggle in his last start against the Dodgers. That was a while ago, June 7th. He made it through 5 2/3 innings. He did give up 6 runs, but like I said, this last month, he's just been absolutely electric. He's been getting better and better, and that's what you want to look for that, for whether it's progression or regression, one way or the other, you're going to see that. And Miller on the other side, he's 6-1 right now with the 4.28 ERA. His last couple starts, he's left something to be desired, I guess you can say, but he's still got the stuff. You still see it. He only gave up the 3 runs against the Rangers, but he's been kind of consistent there, giving up about 3 runs per start. But like I said, this kid clearly has the stuff to be elite. I think both of these pitchers do, and I think the under is probably a good look here. The Reds have just cooled off. There's flat out all you can say about them, and I think I'd definitely look under here. Maybe Dodgers run line, but I don't usually bet that, especially not at home.
Well, I know I don't want to double up here. I so badly don't want to double up here. But the first 3 under 3 is pretty much an even money situation if you use a -1 calculator.
I like that bet.
I like it too. But I kind of want the under 9.5 as well, knowing that these bullpens are healthy. I'd love to hear what our guy Jose has to say. But first, shout out to our friend Peter North in the house. Old adult film star, retired, but still capping. Shout out to our Peter North. Take it away, Jose. Your thoughts here.
I like his new name. His new name is pretty fire. I like the first 5 under here. I'm just right there with you. Brandon Williamson, the market's saying he's going to pitch well. The Dodgers are just, let me double check this actually, because I wrote this down and I already forgot. But I think they were, they're just okay against lefties. 12, 109 weighted runs created plus, and last month 105. So that's pretty average against lefties for their standards. So first 5 under here was a pretty easy bet. And the Reds, like we said, I think the Reds are cooked, and I think the Cubs will pass them eventually. They have just one of the toughest schedules in the second half. They need a pitcher. I don't think they're going to be very active. So, yeah.
So you have the first 5 under.
Yeah, under 5.5.
Jose, you still give off the vibes of like, I thought you were going to be like, they need a pitcher, not a belly itcher.
I don't know how to respond to that.
That's what I saw coming. I'm just going to say that.
I don't know how to respond to that. But first 5 under 5.5, -108 for me. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know. That's a white people thing, I guess. I have no idea.
A white people thing? I think that's just like a little kid baseball thing, Jose.
Yeah, it's little white kids. I've never seen a Venezuelan kid say that before.
I probably have.
How many Venezuelan children do you see, Daby Cab?
I don't ask them exactly what fucking country they're from, but I've seen a lot of kids say that.
All right, let's stay focused, fellas. Jose, first 5 under 5.5, -108. I don't want to double up here. I don't want to really double up on anything anymore. But goddamn, do I want to double up here? First 3 under 3 and under 9.5. Full game. I might have to. I can't wait to watch these 2 young pitchers pitch. This is exactly what I'll be doing this evening. And Ribeye play of the day from our Mike M. Freeman +150. So the 3 of us move on to the final spot on the board. The Boston Red Sox at the San Francisco Giants. Oracle Park in San Francisco, California. We're waiting to hear what Nutflush Allen is doing on this one. There's our guy, Real Deal Prime, in the house. And I want to know, first off, I know that Daby Cab has action on this. I can't wait to hear Jose's action on this. This is a very, very exciting spot. Cutter Crawford versus Logan Webb, and Logan Webb coming off getting lit up and smoked. 55 and 47 are these Boston Red Sox playing great baseball. Let's start with the weather here in San Francisco. 61 Fahrenheit, 15.8 miles per hour out, dies down to 11.3. But we know that it swirls and it doesn't matter. Oracle Park is -30% home runs and -9% runs. Busch Stadium and Oracle Park are the least offensive out of the ballpark pile, but I don't know how they're doing that with the St. Louis game, as we don't even know who's pitching. JP says sometimes the Dodgers score 5 by the third inning. No, I know that, but they're not hitting lefties that hard. 242, 745, Jay, and I look. I think Williamson is showing his class right now. Cutter Crawford going up against Logan Webb. Let's take a look at the line history for the total. We have this total opening up at 8. Many books have moved it to actually. Pinnacle opened this up at 7.5, and it lasted there for 14 hours. Up to 8, down to 7.5, up to 8. So this is a move to the over. It's at 8 here at Pinnacle. So what books have it at 8? Pinnacle and Bovada. That's it. So what is Bookmaker? Bookmaker has it 7.5 minus 120 to the over. Okay. So let's take a look at the money line then. Our final game on today's show, our final game on the board. What a fun. Sometimes, cards are good. Sometimes they're bad. Sometimes they look lucrative. Sometimes they look awful. This has everything you could possibly want. I was so excited about breaking this down, and it's been a lot of fun. Boston opening up at plus 135. They're now plus 125. So we have a 10-cent move to the Boston Red Sox. 10-cent move to the Red Sox, and then we have this slight move to the over. And there's Tease in the house. Great to see you. So let's take a look at the cash flow here. Final game on the board. 74% of the tickets, 84% of the cash on the Red Sox. Well, that explains the line moving towards them. Then you have 73% tickets, 65% cash on the over. Cutter Crawford at times has looked excellent this year, and I can't wait to hear Jose's breakdown on him. 4.04 ERA, 1.12 whip. He did not look good in his last start. 5-4 loss at home versus the Mets. 4 innings, 4 runs, 2 jacks. On the road, he's been excellent this year. 40 innings, 2.48 ERA, 215 opponents batting average, 42 Ks and 8 walks. He looks like an ace on the road. Logan Webb, 8-8, 3.48 ERA, 1.12 whip, 136 Ks and 134 and a third. What a Jekyll and Hyde pitcher Logan Webb is. The last time I saw him was at Nutflush's house, and he had a complete game shutout. He was spectacular. And then he goes on the road as a mediocre start. And then he can't get through 2 innings at the Washington Nationals in his next start. We know what he does at home. He just shoves 2.02 ERA, 230 points batting average. But can you do that against the Red Sox right now? They're hitting 294 with 853 OPS first righties. I mean, they're just this since July 1st, but they're rolling. I mean, that's almost 200 percentage points, OPS points ahead of the Giants, who are 211, 657. And the Red Sox bullpen's 2.91 ERA. Right now, you don't want to play the Boston Red Sox. Jose, your team is in action, and they're playing their best ball. All it took was a series loss against the A's at Oakland Coliseum for these guys to wake up. What are your plans here? How are you betting it?
Sox. Come on. They're hot. They need to win games to A, stay in the playoff race, and B, make Chaim Bloom get in this playoff race. We need it. So Cutter Crawford pitches well on the road. Logan Webb, obviously, Jekyll and Hyde. Again, I've said this many times this year, but he's just one of those pitchers I watch pitch. I'm like, how the fuck do these guys hit him? Because everything he throws moves is disgusting, et cetera, et cetera. So I lean under in this game, but I'm probably just going to end up just taking the Sox money line, full game, or bullpen coming back to life. Like I've said, it was hurt throughout the year now, coming back healthy, feeling good about ourselves. We have one of the best managers in baseball. The young kids are playing well. I like the Sox, and the Giants don't hit righties well. So, and by the way, Big Clash Glizzy, suck my nuts. 2-0 in my last 2 Red Sox bets against the Atlanta Braves. The Sox are hot, kid. I believe.
They are. Mike M looking at Boston and the under 7.5 at plus 350. Said it's a late one for the AL East team, though. Does that concern you at all, them playing on the West Coast?
No.
Daby Cab, our final game on the board, and you've moved on it. Take it away.
Yeah. This is one of those rare games where I wouldn't be shocked if the full game goes under, if it's like a 5-2 type of game. But I think this first 5 goes over. So that's what I bet. I got over 4. There's a reason they're not giving us 3.5 at a good price. Cutter Crawford. God damn, that was a hard name to say. he's a bullpen guy. Even though he's cemented his spot in the starting rotation, he's somebody that you'd prefer out of the bullpen, just like Dunning for the Rangers. And I really like, people like Crawford who do a good job, but should be in the bullpen. You see him struggle sometimes to get through that, fourth and fifth inning. Like those are really tough innings for these guys. And Crawford, since he's got that starting rotation spot, 3-3 with the 4.43 ERA, a 4.24 FIP, and that's over 40 and 2/3 innings of work, which is 9 starts for him. He struggled in his last start against the Mets at home. I don't, hate this spot for the Red Sox. The Red Sox are hot, like Jose just said. And that's as far as Webb goes, Jekyll and Hyde, like you said. But I think this is a spot where the Red Sox can put up runs. If you look at what they've been doing since the All-Star break, 131 runs created plus versus righties and 120 runs created plus versus lefties. They've just been hot. Like that's the only word you can say. They've been stroking the baseball. So I think both these pitchers, if they get through 5 and give up two runs, I'll be shocked. I think both of them are due for 3 or 4 here. So first 5 over 4.
First 5 over 4 at -102 for Daby Cab. Red Sox money line for Jose. And I think I have to stay off of this spot. Unfortunately. But I lean towards the Red Sox. It's just I just have too much of a vividness of Webb just cruising here. So Red Sox team total over 3.5 for Joe Yurkovich says 18-1 to this line in the last 19. JP just says he'd bet the Dodgers team total, but it's at 5.5. It's juiced to the over. Small sample size, but the Dodgers have hit this guy. I know they have. This is his first year, and he's a different pitcher right now. But the Dodgers can get to anyone. Look, I get it. All right, that is our show for today. We're going to do a review of all our action. Stay up here, Jose, and let's do a friends and family parlay. Londo's been asking for one all day, so let's do a friends and family parlay.
Londo's persistent. I shout out to Londo. Yeah. I appreciate Londo watching our shows every day. He is very persistent about the parlay picks, but shout out to him.
We'll do a friends and family parlay. And again, I don't like, when people shit on parlays. Not everybody is a bankroll, and if you can only bet $20 to $100 a day, that's your full amount to bet, then why wouldn't you want to go for a big score? So I have no, I'm never going to be negative about parlays. It's all about your bankroll. If your bankroll is big enough, then you shouldn't bet them. But there's correlated parlays that work so well. And, we see Mike hit them all the time. And last Friday night, I cashed that Mariners and over 3.5, when the Jays were up 1-0 in Seattle. It was fucking magic. It paid just under $600. It was fucking incredible. So let's do it. But let's review all action here before we do that. So first off, TJ has given us 2 gifts. The first one is the Detroit Tigers' first 3 money line, and I'm interested in joining them. on that. Then I'm interested in that Yankees under 8.5, and Gambler's first glance is the Orioles, and that interests me very much. I am going to move on the under 8.5. Jose is on the first 5 under 8.5, and he's on the Orioles money line, and he is interested in the full game, and he's waiting to see if it gets up to 9. He'll talk about that on his own show. Yeah, so while I'm reviewing everybody's, sorry, what's that?
You said I was on the full game. I'm on the first 5 under 4.5.
Yeah, I said that you are waiting to see if it goes to 9. You're going to talk about it on your own show, right? That was the plan. So we're good. So listen to all the action and then decide if you, and BJ's putting 2 units on the Yankees, what your friends and family parlay is going to be. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is the Phillies -1 at -123, and BJ's got a big bet on the Phillies here. We are both off of this spot. Jose is on the first 5 over 4.5 in Angels Blue Jays. Guardians White Sox, we stayed off. My first action is that Washington New York Mets first 3 under 2.5, first 5 under 4.5. Daby Cab's moved on it as well. Jose's moved on it as well. And I would just like to see it. I would sure be more comfortable.
What bet was that? Because I don't know if I moved on it.
Oh, you definitely didn't. Sorry. You said that you wanted to wait. That was the, sorry, my bad.
Okay, just checking. Okay,
It was going to be first 5 under 4.5 possible addition. My bad. I didn't read it. That was the Scherzer versus Mackenzie Gore that were all on the first 5 under. I would like to see a little bit of movement on it so badly. The first 5 under 4.5. Come on, show me some pinnacle movement. No, none. No movement on it. It's we've had a 2 cent move to the over since that's come out. Do you want me to pull that from your record keeping?
Yeah, don't put that on there. I like it, but just don't worry about that one.
All right, that is off. Razor Sharp picks hitting a 58-1 in the first race at Toga. He is off and rolling. Brewers first 3 at plus 115. That's moved to plus 120. I probably should have waited. I didn't double up. I wasn't that confident, but goddamn, do I want to double up on the Royals first 3 and first 5? I shouldn't, though. I should pick the one spot I like the best. I'm going to try so hard not to double up there, but I haven't bet that yet. I was waiting to see the public's all over the Twins. The line's not moving. Obviously, that's giving me more confidence, but Cabby gets his card started with the Rays first 5 minus 106. LJ from H-Town, Trill OG, play of the day is Astros, money line. Jose's on the first 5 under 4.5. Cubs, Cardinals, no action, but I'm telling you guys, I'll keep saying it. If it is Drew Smiley, you live bet as soon as he steps foot on the mound on the other side. And then we move on to A's, Rockies. Razor Sharp picks moving on 138 exacta and try box over at Saratoga. There's 7 minutes to post. So you know what? Why don't we close on Razor's action at Saratoga? Why don't we close the show on that? But 138 exacta box and try box for him. So we'll close on that. So we have 7 minutes. I'll pop that up here. A's, Rockies, still waiting to see if Sears gets traded. What the hell's going on? We expect Freeland to be starting off the IL. I'm going to be adding the Diamondbacks first 5. The Justin McElvey stacks play of the day is Seattle, Arizona over 9. And you stayed off that, Cabby. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So I got. Okay. Then 9:40 p.m. Eastern, Daby Cab gets his card started with the first 5 over 4.5 at plus 102 in Rangers Padres.
Second
and Jose.
bet.
Sorry. Oh yeah, because you have the Rays. My bad. Sorry. Jose's on the first 5 under 5.5 in Reds Dodgers. I'm going to be on the first 3 under 3. And I guess I'm going to be on the full game under 9.5, but I hate doubling up. Got to. Then the final spot on Dabby's cards, the first 5 over 4, minus 102 in Boston, San Francisco. Jose's on the Red Sox money line. The Pimpslap play of the day is in. First 5 under 4.5 in Toronto, Los Angeles. I wonder if that's just such a great bet. Believing that Gausman's going to be back after whatever was going on in his left side discomfort. Believing that Giolito's going to shove. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Mike. Pimpslap play today hitting at such a wonderful rate. I'm going to have to take another look at that. I'll put some asterisks there. I just... All right. Parlay time. Best bets for each of us. Take it away. Jose, get us started.
It's a great question. I would like to take a bet that doesn't conflict with anyone else's. Jimmy, you're probably going to take the first 5 under in Washington Nationals Mets is my guess.
If I could, and I won't because not everyone can bet it, I would take the first 3 under 3 in LA Cincinnati. I really think, yes, there's a big possibility that it pushes. But I really think that has, if I was going to give odds on a bet losing, I would give that the least amount of odds that loses. But then again, the push becomes a big thing. But sorry, Jose, keep going.
Billy, I will just make the pick. Sox. Obviously, it's going to be the Red Sox. Londo, this is for you. Last time I gave Londo a birthday pick, it was like plus fucking 330 or whatever it was, and it cashed for Londo.
It did, yeah.
So shout out to me. And Londo, that's why he probably stuck around so much because it was a hell of a birthday pick.
Red Sox, what's the money line?
Plus 122.
Plus 122. Okay. Cab, your action on the friends and family.
Let's go with McClanahan and the Rays. One of the most profitable pitchers in baseball. He'll get back right today. Rays first 5 money line.
And what's that number?
Minus 106.
I cannot give the Mets Nats because the market's just not moving in that direction. So I just can't. I can't say it's my favorite spot on the board. Okay. Well. Okay. I will give out the.
Yeah, I'm surprised Daby didn't give that first 5 over.
Not putting that fucking parlay juju on my goddamn pick that cashes for me every night.
I'll go with the. It's for me right now. It's between the Dodgers, Reds, first 5 under 5, and the Royals. Again, I would have to give it first 3, which I can't do. So I love those first 3. So those are my favorite. I'll give out the first 5 under 5.5 in Cincinnati Reds, Los Angeles Dodgers.
I'm surprised Dave loved diversity.
That was funny.
Red Sox money line from Jose, Rays first 5 from Cabby, and Cincinnati Los Angeles Dodgers first 5 under 5.5. All right, let's move over to our final spot on the board. You guys mind hanging with us while we?
Yeah, I bet it. So let's fucking ride, Razor.
All right, let me just...
138 exacta box at Saratoga. Very nice. Daby, by the way, I almost said it. I almost said what Dave said again, but I didn't.
Don't. We don't need to keep talking.
All right.
Bad vibes.
We are 1 minute away from race 2 at Toga. Let's get this up here. And we've been given a 1-3-8 spot.
Yeah, Daby, you should bet it.
What?
3-8. Was this
the race? I'll bet the race.
Yeah.
No,
138 at Saratoga. Exacta box that.
Oh, they were main track only. So that's all right. Sorry. 1-3-8 at Toga. Huh. Let me just see what the possible payouts for this are. Go $5 exacta box. 1-3. We need that fucking 3 involved badly for us to get paid. The worst we can get paid is about 1.5 to 1. And the best we can get paid is about 4.8 to 1.
What was 1, 3, and what?
1-3-8 here. 1-3-8. King Angelo, fluid situation, and Fauci. Ricardo Santana on Fauci.
Fuck yeah.
Fluid situation, Javier Castellano. We need the 3. You know, I'm going to let go of the 1-8 side of things.
Oh, you're just going 3 to win.
No, I'm going to key the 3. I guess it's, you just want to win. So if it goes 1-8, how about this? What I'll do is then I guess I'll cover myself so that we're all in it together. So I'll cut it down to $4 exacta, and then I'll do another $2 where I key. That's what I'll do. Okay, so I'm going to do a $4 exacta box with the 3 of them, and then I'll do a $2 one where I just key the 3. Sorry, no, unbox 3 over 1-8. And next bet, 1-8 over 3.
By the way, while Jimmy does this, another reminder to people that Daby Cab will be hosting Say Hey Plays at the end of August into September.
Ooh.
So just a reminder of that. So it'll be fun for Daby.
I wasn't listening to you. What?
You're hosting Say Hey Plays at the end of August until September 4th-ish, 5th.
Hell yeah. I'll be there tomorrow too. Let's get you down under 10 units before then.
Well, the real goal was to get under 10 units for me and Jimmy both by the first Thursday in August. If we don't, we're going to take several shots on this show to, break our slump, as they say.
All right, we are loading up here at Saratoga, the spa. God, it's gorgeous. Wish I could be there right
Where is it?
now. The spa is north, upstate New York. The spa, it's about 4.5 hour drive from here, maybe 4.5 hour drive.
You make that easy.
Yeah, it's in Saratoga, obviously. But I was trying to give him a place.
Yeah, I would have asked you again. Where is that? So
it's upstate New York. It's beautiful, beautiful area. We are off and racing. Good luck, everybody. Traveling 5.5 furlongs is allowance optional claimer race 2 at Saratoga. The great Razor Sharp Picks has given us his action here, and we are tailing it. The 4 Comedy Town and the 7 Into the Sunrise have fired out quickly here. Let's get this opening quarter very fast, 22-1 here on the turf. Very, very quick. The 6 Super Success in the danger spot, and there's our 3 looming dangerously under the guidance of Javier Castellano on the inside, needing to make a run right now. The 1 also looking like he's got legs, but a lot of work to do for our horses. Here we go. We're making a move on the outside. The 3 is pushing, but can we catch this 7? Can we get this 7? Here comes the 3. Oh, the 3's angling out. Damn it. Here comes the 3. He's still pushing. It's such a long straightaway. God damn it. He angled out poorly. The final is a 7-8-3 final. Into the Sunrise, 9-1 with Manny Franco. There we go.
That's horse racing.
Oh, yeah. That was a poor Javier Castellano didn't angle out fluid situation well, and that was just very easy for Into the Sunrise there. All right. Well, that is that. Picks from Dave. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you guys all. No, don't never need to say sorry, Razor. You're a monster, man. You put so much money in all our pockets, man. It just happens. It happens, man.
I never apologize for losing a bet. Fuck that, Razor.
Yeah.
You've made me. I am a positive bettor in horse racing, and I've never capped it once in my life. All I've done is tailed you, and I've tailed Jimmy a couple times too.
8 was flying.
Shout out to
I don't know why they
Nowitzki.
waited so long. Fauci
And
went
tailed
off.
K-Reed.
It was that goddamn one that just didn't fire. All right, let's go. Thank you guys so much for everything. Joe Yurkovich, Jay Peasy, Lucky Lefty, G Martinez, BJ, Razor Sharp Picks, Tease, Picks from Dave, Steve G, Real Deal Prime, JT Eel, Joe Yurkovich, Rem Most. Thank you guys. We have nothing without you. Coin, Daryl Turner in the house. Thank you, man. All you guys. Thank you so much for your support. My guy, Christopher Comatini, Big Cash Glizzy, Troy Torrance, Londo. Let's go out there and get that cash. Andy Reed's Cheeseburger as well here. Thank you, guys. Imp 13. Thank you, guys. Let's go out there and get that cash. Daby Cab, great job today. It was a lot of fun capping with you. Good luck this weekend. And Jose, Say Hey plays today. I believe it's Friday, so that's a Connor Mack appearance for you.
Yep.
Connor Mack on Say Hey plays today. So we got the Balking Dead at 3:10. Say Hey plays at 5 p.m. Thank you guys so much for watching. The Razor Sharp Pick 6 p.m. till 1 a.m. Look at that. God, how to make that happen. I'm going to be busy from about 6 to 8:30 or so, but that sounds real nice, man. I'd like to say that.
One plug too. Make sure you have your Bet Online account situated. Sign up, of course, as always, using the Pub Sports Radio website. You'll see the logo on the website there. Click on it, sign up, use promo code Pub Sports. You get a deposit match, the whole thing. Sign up because there's going to be big announcements using the Pub Bet Online with Pub Sports Radio. So very much sign up and get your shit in order because the cards will be dealt in August. It'll be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
I got my Airbnb with Nate and Big Show and Dab Father for the card show in August. So I'll be down there. Anybody that can go should show up.
Completely different thing, but yes, also relates with cards, sports cards, but yes.
All I heard was cards, man, in August. You said August and cards. I was like, is there really 2 August and cards?
No, it's going to be dope that you guys are doing it down there. It's going to be a lot of fun. But we have 3 poker tournaments coming up in August. 3
hell yeah.
poker tournaments. We're going to be live here. It's going to be extremely enjoyable. We're going to talk more about it coming month. We have 2 brand new shows we're going to be talking about as well. So we have a lot of fun coming up. So thank you guys so much. Let's go out there and get that cash. Let's have a weekend, man. Get this fucking money. Leche! Hey, Los Bookmaker.